Holy Christ.
Well,
I'm amazed. You're getting a guitar
I
tune?
want my find my A.
What is that after using?
So that will be a G. Here's a G. And here's a G.
That's gonna go off.
That,
Oh, do you want me to unplug the phone? Oh yeah. Our mic's live right now.
Cause I'm down. I'm a whole step down from 440.
Oh, okay. Still gonna buy you two. If you guys can see us right now, Kevin's doing that. Whatever it is, let me make this chat smaller. It's pretty obnoxious right now. He's tuning his guitar. Oh, thank you for following. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I'm gonna thank people that follow our Twitch channel, but we're not gonna thank people that follow our YouTube channel because it's very important people go to the Twitch, right? Sure. Yeah. So
Get with the times.
Get with the Twitch. Thank you, Kevin, for knowing.
Are we actually live?
Yeah, we're totally live. All right, guys. So if you guys are confused, it hasn't. Oh, there's a delay on YouTube, but not probably Twitch though, because if you notice the Twitch guys are responding to us right now, because it's not delayed. Because we have pretty much real time. So if you guys want to have real time interactions with Jeremy, Kevin, and myself, go to Twitch, and there's no slow chat there either. So you won't have the burden of having to wait 60 seconds. Hopefully people can hear me. We can't see Kevin's. You know what? You're right.
There we
People want to see more of Kevin.
People do want to see more.
Kevin's the beautiful man here. Okay, here we go. Okay, and Kevin's also got his guitar in his hand.
That's for anti-twitching.
Yes, exactly. Okay, let's see.
Just have to busy myself a little bit.
Busy yourself? What do you do at Muay Thai to keep yourself from going crazy there? Oh, you're doing.
I'm not going to Muay Thai tonight, so
he's hanging with us.
Oh, cool. Cool. Is there anybody local that wants to do some sort of a private tour with Kevin? Maybe that
$500.
No, wait. I thought there was like someone coming up.
Oh, no, that's for his lizard behavior class.
Oh.
My lizard behavior class, which is this Friday.
And you're super pumped about, right?
I am super stoked. I have lots of really interesting information to divulge to all three people in my audience.
No, there's 5 now.
There's 5.
No. But are we talking about Patreon in the future?
Yes.
About doing on video,
online courses,
online things. So people that are part of my Patreon, I can kind of go through like a lot of my secrets. Mm-hmm. There's different levels of what I end up revealing. So obviously I'll reveal more because it's like a lot of problem solving. I'm trying to work with people, and then like once you kind of sign on to the way I do some of my animal psychology, it will start making sense, and you can really gauge some results with the existing pets you have, especially if you have problematic animals.
Can we move? Oh, you just made it smaller. Sorry, I'm looking at the delayed thing.
I think we'll be all right. And we'll definitely be looking at questions, guys. We're not gonna ignore your questions because that's pretty important. You can see YouTube, right?
Yep.
So if you see super chats, you gotta tell me.
Yeah, I got you.
So if you guys have questions for Kevin, we're gonna do the super chats because honestly, so many questions come in here. We don't want to waste anyone's time.
Yeah.
And we need people on the Twitch channel, guys, because we're trying to get partnered over there, and that's super important.
Well, we can continue to bring in the heavy hitter. So one of our things we did discuss before, we did a podcast. Hopefully you got to see it. We did that over on YouTube with Brian Barczyk, and we talked about a bunch of different stuff. And Donnie's latest video we just did, Donnie and Brian were just goofing around, and we just started filming while Brian and I were peeling the skin off of a golden child retech because we were really into torturing it. You could see we tortured it so much it actually fell asleep because it lost its will to live. But anyways, it was kind of interesting because Brian and I got to we weren't planning on it, but we just started talking because that's generally what we do. And I was really happy to see a lot of comments about Brian. Not that Brian needs any help at all. If anything, I need the help. But it's really nice to see people talking about Brian in a little bit different light, seeing like the true animal lover and the animal reptile geek that he really is, because I'm so tired about having to defend him occasionally, or more than occasionally, to people that have a really strange idea of Brian, and I don't feel that it's justified, because that's definitely not the Brian that I see. So hopefully people got to watch it. Please give it a listen to, because we cover a lot of stuff. But it's Brian and my intent is we're going to do more of these video podcasts over on the Twitch platform, going over some of this stuff, and we're gonna talk a lot about the beginning of the whole reptile industry, and I can even talk about the beginning of how I actually accomplished and got to where I was, and that's a long, sordid tale, and but there's a lot of very interesting things because, believe it or not, all this stuff wasn't here at one point. It was like unheard of, and everything we're dealing with, it was generally just like wild caught animals that we didn't even know how to take care of. We didn't know how to acclimate them. We didn't know how to worm them. We didn't know how to do all these different things, yet alone breed them. And there was a time where there was no veiled chameleons. There was a time where there was no panther chameleons. And the only kind of chameleons we were seeing were like Jackson's chameleons and wild caught chameleons. And the amount of mortality was just incredible because we did not have the basic clue about taking care of these animals. Certainly the metabolic bone disease and all that, all sorts of husbandry, diet, and care parameters were never remotely known. And there wasn't all the products. We have so many great ZooMed products, or just a lot of great products in general, but ZooMed is one of them that is, we love ZooMed products because there's so many different tools to keeping these animals. And there's a lot of other companies, like we were talking, Midwest Tongs contacted us today about maybe doing something with them. And clearly Midwest is a line of products that we will use when we keep and manage venomous reptiles. So, or just managing non-venomous reptiles like a lot of different pythons and boas, because you want to use your tools, because especially if we're getting rodents from Rodent Pro and the defrosted rodents, and you want to make sure your rodent is warm, and sometimes your hand's warmer than that, so you want to use tongs or big long tweezers, hemostats or something like that to feed these animals. So there's all these different techniques, but it all comes down to having access to really good products. And I do want to be clear, I'm not going to endorse any product that I don't believe in or I wouldn't use or I don't use. Not really into that at all. I just want to give you good information. So if I feel like it's something that works for us here at New England Reptile and all the different animals that we manage, I will naturally just talk about it, whether I am sponsored by it or endorse it or anything. It's just something that I use because I do want to give really, credible information that, years later, I don't go back and just go, why? I'm like embarrassed.
Is there anybody you're embarrassed about and that you endorsed over the past years and that you kind of regret?
Well, there's certain product lines that never lasted, which is sad. There was T-Rex. The two top dogs were T-Rex and ZooMed, but ZooMed being the real top dog. And one thing that's really important about ZooMed, and I strongly encourage everybody to use the products, besides the fact that they actually work, they contribute a huge amount of money to US ARC, and ultimately they are a big reason why US ARC is even functioning. They're literally hand in hand with US ARC, and Gary, they throw in a lot of money, they keep US ARC alive, and literally US ARC is what is defending all of our rights. Whether you know it or not, please understand that US ARC is a huge part of where we are right now. If we do not have US ARC, if US ARC was magically not there, oh my goodness, we'd have nothing. We would really be in some major trouble. Python keepers as well as frog and newt keepers and all that. There's a lot of fighting going on, and you'll hear me continue to keep going on about this, but this is very realistic stuff, and please take it to heart. But ZooMed is interfaced and part of US ARC. Without ZooMed, we don't have US ARC. So that's a really big deal. There's some real big top dogs that put a lot of money into US ARC, which ultimately fight for us, and their contributions are making it so we have so many freedoms, certainly federally, yet alone state. So please don't get tired of hearing me talk about it, because it's something I'm really keen on, because it's very important, because I want to be able to keep these animals.
That's true. No, I think any time I've ever testified at any state hearings for random legislation, I think I've pretty much always seen Phil there or a representative from USARC there. So they're definitely on the ground running all the time.
It's very, very key.
So he said that he's going to do the live streams with Brian. We don't know when this is going to happen yet though, but for now we're gonna totally keep doing this at least once a week, right, Kevin?
So we're okay. So we're gonna do this, and we're going across multiple different platforms, but the home will be Twitch. Obviously we're doing YouTube live streaming.
Yep.
But please just kind of follow us. We're kind of going through a lot of growing pains. So I see people complaining about the volumes and the noises. We are trying to get this down. This is a very steep learning curve, so we're definitely not polished. There's nothing about me that's ever going to be polished, I suppose. So, suffer.
The videos have been, they're 100%, 110 times better than they used to be. I figured out a lot of the audio.
Well, you talking about my bubblegum motherfucking video?
No, when I first started, my videos with the microphones, and we would do 45 minutes of filming and the microphone wouldn't work.
That was the worst. We filmed so much stuff. I poured out my heart, and then Donnie's like, yeah, the sound sucked. And then I got all upset.
And then he wants me to use it.
And I got salty. And when you're talking salty, we're talking like the Red Sea salty, like complete high salinity. If you have a hydrometer, I was pissed over and over and over again. But yes, we're definitely doing stuff with Brian. Brian and I are talking. So the plan is to really go through a lot of stories.
That's not what I mean. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. So until that happens, we're looking for other ways we can stand out on Twitch, all right, and YouTube. So what we're going to be doing is we're trying to get in the Twitch animal community, which is not very big. It's kind of non-existent. What we want to do is we're going to start bringing the stream upstairs. We're going to do some retics. We're going to feed those live.
Yep, so we're going to do some retic feeding videos. Now, mind you, we're not doing a live feed video. Right. So, obviously, defrosted rodents, and we don't feed live to our big retics or anything like that. So we're taking defrosted rodents, but it's really interesting because these animals are some of them really grab, and it's a little dynamic, and you got to be on point. You also probably get to see some of our practices and how we do it, and some safe practices, but still edgy, probably to a degree.
Oh yeah,
we're not going in there with body suits and Kevlar or
Kevin's
whatever.
Gonna put a guinea pig on his guitar and give that to a retake.
No. But
he would never do that.
I'm gonna have to definitely put warnings on the stream, probably on
Midwest
itself.
products. Can you turn this into a snake grabber, Tom?
Oh, do they sell snake grabbers?
Amazing. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a great way to start that whole sponsorship? Is using their snake grabbers during a live stream for retics? There's nobody doing it on Twitch, and they're gonna do it right anyway. So we're gonna do it the best, and I'll have it set up so you guys can talk to Kevin if Kevin's there. If Kevin's not there, we'll still be doing this. So Kevin may burn out, and
you'll deal with me.
If I can keep my stuff here, we could maybe do 2 live streams a week. We could probably do more than this, but this is just a pain in the butt to set up. And we might do venomous stuff live. There's a lot of things we can do live, guys. But it's only going to be on Twitch. So that's why I need you guys to go there.
Yep.
And if you don't know how to use it, you're old and you're incapable, and everybody's going to make fun of you. So all you guys say Twitch sucks. You've never tried, and you're old. Okay? All right, thank you.
That's a subtle way of calling me old.
That's what's up.
I will tell you, I can work circles and run circles around
Everybody's
these two.
I can totally kick your ass.
Cleopatras.
What are you talking about?
Cleopatra. All right. Well, Cleopatra was royalty, so I'll take that.
Kevin, do you still wanna make the Pettubers I Get Beat in a Fight video that I've been working on? I don't think Brian was thought it was funny. I don't know if he would ever make that video.
So Donnie has an idea. He's like, okay, Kevin, can you beat up this Pettuber? And then I guess I have a chance to me be like an arrogant jerk.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to be funny, but yeah, he's gonna
Don't take us seriously, guys. We're just trying to be funny.
We're just goofing around.
Yeah, unless you guys want us.
I really love everybody, and I don't want to fight anybody.
That's not what you said in your last video. You said,
No,
Donnie, I
I'm
hate
lying.
people. Remember? You said it. I actually isolated it. So we can listen.
Yeah, it's gonna be repeated. Donnie, I hate everyone. Donnie, I hate people.
Well, you're like, I don't know if you guys know, but I don't like everybody.
I saw that. I just.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
Zoomed in on you at that point.
Oh, this is good. Look at these handsome guys. Oh, not you. Stop it. Stop that. Oh God. What else we got? Twitch is kind of strict when it comes to video content. Why'd I read that? Well, they are. They totally are. But at the same time, guys, we're not usually females and people that are being racist usually have problems on those platforms. I don't think we're gonna have issues like that. We're just showcasing our animals.
Racist?
People are terrible on the internet. We're not here. How about some video ideas, guys? I have a whole plethora of video ideas, but how about you guys give us some ideas we want to see Kevin talk about?
We're going to be doing, working with Animal Plastics. Animal Plastics is one of the top manufacturers of reptile caging, and we use a lot of animal plastic products. They're so well made. We're going to talk about expanding some of their caging right now. Mark and Allie are the owners of Animal Plastics, so we're going to do some sponsorship with Animal Plastics. And basically, we're going to do some videos where we take Animal Plastics products, like a cage or whatever. We're going to like show, you get it like this, you build it like this, and then if we outfit it with a certain different, heat tapes and thermostats and lighting and all the different stuff, what you could actually keep. Because we have a lot of different goals. Obviously, we want to be entertaining. We want to be a little bit edgy. We want to be a little bit funny. We want to give you credible, good information that goes way beyond the standard fare. And that all comes from my brain, from me doing this for years and having my little strange take on things. So hopefully that is going to be done in a digestible fashion that people will actually enjoy it and like it, because we are building the channel. It is growing. It's never growing like.
Kevin's taking digs at me and he doesn't even know it. He likes
No, I'm not.
No. Let's talk about the comments that you leave really late at night to people on the internet, because I see them all. Kevin must get depressed at night, and he leaves these comments.
I'm depressed all the time.
Well, it's true. It's true. So if you guys want to make him happy at night, leave positive comments at night, because Kevin's going to probably read them. So Kevin has been leaving comments like, "My small puny channel." Last night you wrote that, and I saw it, and it makes no sense because we just hit 70K today. And what did we start at? Like 19?
So Donnie's thinking about selling makeup for the channel. Do you guys think that will help?
So much.
Do you think that will help?
I mean, yes.
Help
100%.
us with our.
It'll only happen
channel.
after the troglodyte wars.
Hey, Kevin, what do you think about freckled monitors? Well, your $2 is not going to be wasted, sir. What do you think? But you have to give a short answer because you only donated like €2.
Australian
Euros.
monitors. So.
Keep it short, 20 seconds.
They're wonderful. Freckled and black-headed monitors and all the Australian monitors. It's Sanguadas
And all that. They're actually great. I'm being very, very focused on not trying to, even like including lace monitors. And water monitors are my ultimate. Croc monitors are my ultimate. There's so many good other monitors. It's a smaller growing monitor. They're wonderful. Absolutely worth the time, and you don't see a lot of them.
Good. I think that was worth €2, right?
Yeah.
Keep them nice and hot.
Good. There you go. Now, I mean, if you guys want to do it like €10, maybe he'll go even longer. Like, I don't know.
If we get another AEP $300 donation, maybe that'll just be the whole live stream.
Can we just not promote him anymore? It's so pathetic.
Are we talking about Miguel?
Whoever his name is.
Yeah. Hi, Miguel. It's you, look at.
He's not watching. Only
He's
watching.
not
You're
watching.
Wait,
smart.
fun fact: he'll only watch on Brian's ear. I'll bet you money. All right. Cool. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
funny.
Cool. You got any? What videos do you want to make?
I would be really interested to see if we can make a video on the customizations that he's doing right now with those animal plastic cages that are upstairs in room 6 that we talked a little bit about on the Instagram story today. Just kind of like
Your gecko enclosures, right?
Yeah, we're gonna repurpose for the tokay geckos and stuff. Like Kevin's brain when it comes to like repurposing and designing
The things
enclosures. Yeah, but it's cool because like I look at those cages and I'm like, oh yeah, we could probably do X, Y, and Z, and then like he totally takes that to like a whole other level and like, oh yeah, well we can fix a drainage system into this and we're gonna be able to encompass all these other things that I'm like, you wouldn't want me to build that. Like it would be a very poor job. It might as well just be a pile of rubbish in the back. Like,
he's got to witness what I can do. Like literally, I can go to Home Depot and make this whole big caging system.
Yeah,
it's like, so you use foam and you use this and you're like that, and then all of a sudden you get to see what I built, and it can be pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, so I think it would be really cool if we did a video on because we still have some cages he hasn't modified yet.
That means we have to catch him doing it.
Yeah.
He never thinks
He's
by
in
the way,
build
guys,
mode now.
Kevin doesn't
I am
know.
in build mode
He
right
doesn't
now.
know what's worth like he'll do something and we'll go, why the hell didn't you let us video you doing that? He's like, it's just something I do all the time. He doesn't know. Just like that the thing you told us about the fish in that lake. Why didn't I? That's something you should call me for when you're pulling fish out of a lake that's getting.
Well, I was waiting for Ryan.
Oh,
Another super chat.
We have another super chat.
We have another super chat.
$20 one.
For the doll foundation for Donny.
Thank you. Awesome. That's awesome, guys. I'm getting a real doll with all the money that you guys have put towards that.
That's gonna happen.
That's we really appreciate that.
Yeah. I do want to say for those of you who have been sending us messages and emails with different video ideas, I do see them, and Emily sees them, and we definitely are kind of like jotting those things down, and we obviously have some videos that we want to make sure that we get to that we've already been talking about. But if you do have those ideas and you want to send them to us, we of course want to hear what you guys want to see, and if we can make it happen, like, we'll definitely do it. So, so thank you for that, because we definitely value what you guys have for input as far as what you want to see out of our videos. So just know it might take some time before we get to that video, but we're definitely seeing it. So thank you for that.
What? We got another one.
We got two more.
Kevin, big fan. Been following since the search of the King State Classified late 90s to the 2000s. You're for sure one of the guys I've always looked up to. What the hell was that guy's name?
Braden Baskin.
Braden.
I thought it was Jeff Barringer from King State.
No. This is a question about
Thank
Noah,
you.
How he got involved.
Okay,
That was his
Noah.
question.
All right, I can. This is actually real
Enjoy
big.
that.
This is big ball python lore. So Noah is he's a man. He's in West Africa, and basically Noah got involved way early on, supplying Python Regis ball pythons from Ghana in Africa, and he was pretty well connected with the Department of Forestry, which is basically like all of their resources. So he could really get permitting and all sorts of different stuff like that. So Noah basically learned that Americans here, largely, and obviously people in Europe too, were very interested, as the whole ball python game started going, were very interested in odd-looking ball pythons. So Noah was responsible for the first albino ball python being shipped over here that went to Bob Clark. So what's interesting, the first amelanistic albino went to Bob Clark. Noah also included a weird striped animal in the deal. So Bob got that animal, got the albino, but we obviously knew the amelanistic albino ball python, which is literally the standard of all albino ball pythons here. That was really what Bob Clark was after. So Bob had the money, and he might have spent $25,000 on the first albino ball python. I don't know for sure, but I think something like that in that area. But this other striped animal was involved in there, and it's kind of funny that that striped animal happens to be what we know as the genetic stripe. And I think Bob bred that as an afterthought, and it ended up being recessive. And I think that was bred like he got it in the I think like the 1987. So this is like Bob. This is way this is all before I was doing really anything. I was just an avid reptile enthusiast at that time. So Noah knew with his network of dealing with collectors that they were catching all these odd things, and Noah would basically glean through all of these wild animals and see anything that was really odd, and then Noah would have his contacts here in the States as well as Europe, where he would like, hey, I got this animal, or I saw this animal, and this is way before the internet and stuff like that. So sometimes it would be like a picture, sometimes it would be just like a description. So as we got to know Noah, I came in late, so originally it was people like the Bob Clarks, the Peter Calls, Dave and Tracy Barker, people like that first of all developed a relationship. And Dave and Tracy Barker were some of the first to develop relationships with Noah besides Bob Clark. And there was a lot of trust going on. And Noah was smart. he basically cultivated these relationships, and I think he largely cultivated a good relationship with Dave and Tracy Barker, who were also connected to zoos. So they were doing their zoo stuff. They have formal degrees in biology and maybe zoology. Can't tell you exactly what they are, but they had history working in zoos, Dave especially, and then Tracy. So that was kind of like a crossover. Plus, they were extreme hobbyists too. They were keeping all these different animals, and they had access to all sorts of different boids, pythons, and boas, which seems to be keen, what they were keen on. And Noah developed these relationships, and there was some money being spent. And ultimately, Noah did the albino ball python to Bob, the genetic stripe to Bob, and then the piebalds were kicking around, and Pete Call ends up being the person that stepped up. I think he ended up buying 2 piebalds, and they didn't actually. I think they were $25,000 each, or it was 2 for $40 or something like that. Pete Call's my buddy, so I could really we could at some point get Pete on to one of these streams, and we could talk about the whole origin of albino boa constrictors. Pete Call's responsible for that. We could talk about.
I'm trying to find his Instagram, but it's
no, he doesn't have anything like that. Pete's just being quiet. So, but no, so he's responsible for the piebald, and so albino boa. So Pete did the albino boa thing, and we could tell about the whole story there. That's an interesting story. And then with Pete's success with the albino boa, it also gave him the confidence to get into the piebald. I remember talking to Pete when the first piebalds were in the eggs, and Pete, this is a little bit sad tale, he was getting into the eggs, and I have a lot of finesse when I was getting into eggs, because I was trying to, I was doing all sorts of weird, goofy things. I got into eggs at day 27 and watched ball pythons develop. Because I, for a long time, was thinking that if I took ball python eggs and I incubate them like I thought they were incubating them in Africa, which is they're putting these giant pits. They put these pits in the ground, and then they put all these ball python eggs in there, and then these pits are like going through all this weird temperature changes, because when you take a big pile of ball python eggs are actually creating their own heat, contrary to what people think. Snakes wrapping around the eggs and twitching, and those are causing the eggs to warm up. Actually, the egg is consuming and utilizing calories. As the neonate or the embryo is developing, it's generating heat as it's burning this yolk up, and then the animal's being formed. So the egg will actually produce heat. And then the mother, her job is to cloak the eggs and prevent the heat from leaving. So it's really interesting. I've done some my own personal anecdotal research on this, and people a lot of times think that snakes are twitching to create, the muscle twitch is using calories, and calories is essentially a measurement of heat. And actually, it doesn't really work like that. The eggs are creating the heat. The mother's job is to cloak and hold in the moisture, humidity, and also retain as much of that heat potential that those eggs are creating. So if the eggs start getting too warm, because a clutch of eggs can generate 3 to 5 degrees quite easily, and she'll just open up her coils and allow that heat to dissipate. So she literally is the thermostat. So back to Africa. So they got these giant pits. I believe it or not, actually, I can hang on to what I'm saying.
I know.
So
you're getting so many other questions from people.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's pits of eggs, and I thought that we were seeing all these weird striped animals. So if we take the temperatures and start fluctuating the temperatures up and down, will cause striping. So I was looking inside eggs. I was trying to mess with the temperatures, and ultimately, it was just more like a anecdotal research, because you very randomly can make animals look different by fluctuating the temperatures, but you have to get at the temperature at the right time during that right period of time where they're developing their pattern and color. All right, I will get out of that.
Okay. So that jeweler guy donated
Yes.
$7. He said $7 for 70K. Congrats, guys. Keep it up. Looking out on
Hi, jeweler guy.
Nerd site for class and that looking video on easy fixes for ailments.
Yes. Okay.
That's a
So
good one.
I do actually
Yeah.
remember this. So that is actually a perfect video for myself. So we get all sorts of different problems that happen commonly. Let's say we'll talk about snakes. So pythons, boas, colubrids, whatnot. And there's things that are, a lot of times these are manifested by maybe incorrect aspects in husbandry or stress, or the animal came to you sick, or it actually has some infection where it's been introduced to some bacterium, and then that's making the animal sick. So we can do a video covering a lot of that. So I think that's actually a really good video. So keep
It's in
this
my
one in
list.
mind.
I got
So
it.
that jeweler guy, that's a good one that I think I have the clout to actually do something that's digestible and that's quality.
Cool. Shout out to Christine Kilroy for donating $20.
Thank you very much.
You want to blow a kiss to her or something? I'm sure she's
There you
your
go,
fan.
dude. Blow some kisses.
Blow some kisses, Jared. What the- Okay,
for
you guys
Ken.
are so lame. Okay, I would take my shirt
I don't
off.
blow kisses.
Oh, come on.
All right, here's another one. Zippy0099. Been looking up to you since you produced the Superfire. Bugged you at every show to tell me what was
Sorry,
in the
reflex,
magpie
yeah.
ball. Can you please finally tell me once and for all what's in it? I'm gonna say he's gonna say no.
No.
Okay, we got another one.
I'm sorry. I'm so
from
bad.
Braden Baskin, $10 from him. I'm from DC, so Pete is a huge influence on me as well, being he was right across the water in Maryland, I believe. Same with Bob and Crutchfield. Need more of these origin stories. Thank you.
Oh, we're gonna have lots of origin stories. We can do pretty intensive origin stories because obviously I was here for the whole ball python game and the retic game and all sorts of different stuff. So
You mean
yes,
intense? What does that mean? Like
What?
Hardcore talking,
Yeah.
intense music.
no. I can give you like really information, not just like, oh yeah, we're making like these caramel albinos and ghosts. I can actually literally talk about how it came. What was interesting when we were doing the ball python stuff, there was almost a race. Like once we started realizing, like when we were first doing the ball python stuff, I was largely doing all these morphs because I couldn't afford the other stuff, and I was like making these interesting looking animals, like my own little science experiment, and I started attracting attention. Pete Call was like the kind of like the golden boy. I mean, Pete, albino boas and ultimately piebalds. And I did all this on a shoestring budget. So I started my collection, in a little room, and then I started Nerd with, a minimalized bank account of like $7,000 in my collection, but an incredible willingness to work. We will even go into that. But one thing I was doing, we would bring our wares, which are, something we made that was notable, to Orlando. Florida was like, that's the big mother of all shows. That's the National Breeders Expo. And so you had somebody like Pete Call who would go there and just have all the bling, expensive albino boas and all this different stuff. And I just sat there. I might as well have had a pacifier in my mouth. So I started bringing some of my ball pythons I was making. And we're like, one of the things we would do is like, you're so excited to show it off. You have a bin or a bag or something like that. And we were out in the at the hotel in Orlando, and then it became Daytona as we switched the venue. And we're out, all the other breeders are talking, and people that we talk over the phone, and you're just people like your peers and people you're excited about, people that you hated, people that you were jealous of, all this different stuff. It wasn't just like, oh, we're just gonna like respect each other. There was like literal competition. There was like, shit, I need to get this before somebody else. I'll outbid them. You work on developing all your contacts. But Pete Call, out there being obnoxious and confident like Pete is, and a little bit in the bag, and all of a sudden I whip out some of these animals, and you show these animals to Pete Call, and if you can get Pete Call to like give you 2 blinks, it's something. And I remember taking out these animals and showing them to Pete, And then, he sees me showing to somebody else, and he's like coming over. What the hell is that? And then you're like showing him stuff, and he's just like, you got his attention. That was a huge deal. That means you've arrived. So Pete Call was like literally the standard. And because he was incredibly successful, he took the chances, he did all the stuff, and he was making money, and he was selling investments of these color mutations that never happened. And so this is all new. And I didn't have $7,500 or $10,000 to just like mindlessly blow. If I had $7,500, I worked very hard selling all sorts of other stuff just to get that. And then I was blowing some of that on ball pythons because I thought ball pythons were the perfect vehicle. But there's a lot of stories, and I can break down these stories right down to the details. So I was just kind of giving you like a taste. But we have there's a lot to tell about the history. So we could do some of these podcasts. I can just literally go through the painful history, talking about other players and who else was involved, and actually some of the people that are not even here today that you never even heard of possibly, that were significant players back then, and they maybe brought something to the table, and they came up and then they vanished because they didn't have the staying strength. Or, I mean, this is a really tough game. This is you really, for me to survive as long as I have, I don't even know how I've done it except for my just ridiculous work ethic, and I hate to fail. And I love these animals so much. They're just literally my life.
Cool. You're good. Jeez.
You've been sarcastic.
Okay, wait.
No, I love when Brian and Jay were working together. I feel like I would have like a clicker. Like he was like 60 seconds, then stop. 60 seconds, then move on. Dude, literally, I can't ever stop Kevin. I just let him keep going.
Well, I'm allowed to do this, but
I
I have a lot
you can do whatever you want,
interesting information that I think
people
would like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just not me going,
I love California king snake. Yeah, that's California.
But he does love California.
You're telling me that you don't want to
Absolutely.
just make videos where you just go purchase a snake and talk about it for 20 minutes? You don't want to do that?
No, so what's kind of interesting about almost everything I do, this is never to make money. This is, hopefully we're going to make money as a company and all that as it happens. But this is just me talking about things that are important to me, wanting to validate our brand of New England Reptile, because one thing, I'm incredibly proud and prideful person in what I say and do and what I accomplish, and that is ultimately what propels Nerd to where it is now. But this is all because of my own personal value to my accomplishments, and I am very focused. I'm very goal oriented. I always want to accomplish things. I always want to push things, and I'm never happy with what I've accomplished. I always want to accomplish the next thing. So, but that's literally what has allowed me to build everything. We can even go to the story. There was a time I used to do electronics. I have a degree in electronics and computer science. I worked in the high tech field. And that's literally what I did. And I just had this little reptile collection in my bedroom. And people like Bob Clarks and Pete Call and David Tracy Barker and the Brian Sharps, those were all the monsters. Those were all the successful people, the Eugene Bissetts. And I was nothing, literally insignificant as you are. No.
Wow, dude.
Dang.
Yeah.
As you may think, you could have
you.
As, no, it's actually
you.
That's very edgy.
And you.
That's good.
No, but you could be in your room right now with 20 animals going, how did this guy ever to be? How does he have Bolin's pythons and all these ball pythons and Amazon basins and cowrie ticks? I have all that because one thing is just how my brain works and my willingness to work and see something through. And even though I have severe attention deficit disorder, I also can focus greatly on many different things in parallel, and I'll be driven to that. But people that have these little collections, and if you really have this ability and this aptitude, and you're very detail-oriented, you have to be incredibly detail-oriented to be successful at some of this, you could do amazing things. And that just comes down to just being incredibly focused. But you have to love these animals. And, Brian, we're talking, one thing is like, He's been doing it for. So somebody asked, has Brian been in business longer than I have? Yes. Brian has definitely been.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in business for
I did
like
not know that.
20-something years. He's been doing it for 30-something years. So Nerd is actually, we're one of the newbies.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Compared to, so Brian, I do remember when I first was aware of Brian had like a functioning business. I was still like, just kind of like struggling through it. I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, literally, it was it. So Brian's been doing it for 30-something years. I've been doing it for like 20-something years. And it is kind of humbling. But somebody, you don't do something like Brian's done it for like 30-something years and not be very good at what you're doing. He has very good business sense. He understands numbers, husbandry protocols.
He can promote himself pretty damn good too.
He can promote himself really well. There's so many different things. And
what would you say a weakness of Brian's is? Say that he cares too much.
A weakness of
It
Brian's?
was a joke, Kevin.
Oh.
Sorry. Keep
He
going.
reads too many of the comments.
Yeah, I know, dude. Kevin, are you excited about some merch we're gonna be start making? Because we have a new secret weapon.
So one thing we are going to do, people, is snarfles. Snarfles. We're gonna get some snarfles merch going, like legit. Besides a little sticker, Emily, and we're gonna get some more things. So basically, the art is we're gonna engage in that. But snarfles is wonderful. So just bear with us. Just kind of, we're literally a homegrown thing. Well, I'm not going to say a phenomenon because we're certainly not a phenomenon.
I want to be a phenomenon. No, that sounds way better. We do need to have.
We came into this late. I was building my entire YouTube platform on bubblegum videos
and Facebook. I think you focused on Facebook.
I did do a lot of Facebook. And Facebook did a major bait and switch on everybody. They allowed all of us to build a platform thinking it was this, and then all of a sudden they pulled the rug, and they're like, man, that was like one of the smartest things they ever did. They literally rebuilt all the roads, and then suddenly they started charging tolls on all the roads.
I mean, right now they're trying to get into they're making it so content creators can make stuff there. Like Brian can get monetized there, but like God knows we'd never be able to. It's a thing.
We have over 200,000 followers on Facebook, but people, every single time like when we post something, very few people get to see a lot of the stuff that we want to post. So we're very limited in what we post because they're like, well, if you want anybody to see anything on Facebook, you need to spend hundreds of dollars. But it literally, so if you want 6% of your audience to see something, they're like, you have to spend like
it's outrageous.
$40 or something like that. And it's like, hey, look at my cute chameleon, and you have to pay money to do that because we are a business. So we don't use the Facebook platform too much. We're trying to figure out where we're comfortable. Obviously, YouTube right now is allowing us to express ourselves best. We are playing around with the TikTok platform, so those are only 30-second videos. So I'm like literally a newbie on TikTok. So please check us out on TikTok. We're gonna get that going, but there's potential for good growth. But I'm feeling really lonely and neglected on TikTok.
He's not kidding.
I really am.
Okay,
so
we have
help
a TikTok.
me.
Wait,
TikTok.
when did we start the TikTok?
Okay, we
Like
started
a
a
week ago.
Yeah.
No, a couple days ago.
Okay, so I started TikTok for us, and I put out a practice video on my own account, so I didn't screw up theirs, and mine went viral, and then Kevin's didn't. And I'm trying to get more people on the New England Reptile one, but I don't know how because I don't know how I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
We need more pretty girls to make views. So if you're a pretty girl, Jeremy's not
Are
pretty
you allowed
enough.
to be naked on TikTok?
No. Absolutely
no
not.
Nudity,
no,
so.
because the platform's really geared to like kids.
I don't know anything about it.
That's why I'm trying to teach you.
Well,
I get Kevin on the TikTok and I tell Kevin that TikTok's more based on videos because we like making videos. Me and Kevin do personally. Jeremy does, and Instagram is based on photos, and you can't really grow organically on Instagram. So TikTok's where it's at. But Kevin starts immediately posting on TikTok, not using hashtags, and nobody sees the videos. I know, but you didn't use any good ones.
I did hashtag snakes and I did hashtag reptiles of TikTok.
Nice. Good.
What's wrong with those?
20 more would have been nice. But anyways, We're definitely gonna start doing more of those because Brian's got 500,000 K on TikTok and that's ridiculous. We need at least 10K.
Yeah.
Or Kevin's gonna freak out.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
So Kevin, I have a question for you. So pretty much everybody who's been following us has seen like we've gotten more of the kind of like just out there animals, like we've been really kicking butt with the basins and the bolins and stuff like that, and kind of downsizing on stuff like ball pythons and retics. And so I know like a lot of people have brought it up in discussions online, so I think it's kind of a hotter topic in the community. Do you feel like the ball python and maybe reticulated python industry is like shrinking and everybody needs to kind of go somewhere else, or is it still like something valid and just needs like you need to focus more?
You have to break those two down. So we have one of the largest pythons in the world, so reticulated pythons, even though we do lots and lots of dwarf blood. I have a lot of retics. I don't breed a lot of my retics. I breed some of them because I'm trying to make certain things. I don't think a reticulated python is the perfect pet for everyone. It's definitely a good pet for more advanced keepers and whatever. But, some of these animals are not getting that big, So you're talking anywhere from a 7 to 12-foot snake, is very realistic. But that is for certain people. So overproducing something, I breed a lot of these animals because I think they're special. And just producing numbers, I have never been a good business person, which means just making numbers. So I just need to make as many albino ball pythons, as many blue-eyed leucistics. I can do that, but my brain doesn't work like that. I want to make that cool thing. So I do have a retail store here, and we do sell some animals. So there are certain target morphs which are just so desirable, and I enjoy making. So I want to make the new crazy stuff. And then there's things like blue-eyed leucistic reticulated pythons. That's like a super fan of. Cow retics are wonderful. I'm making some very interesting pied retics, and we're socializing these pied retics so they don't pee and bite you. And it's very critical as soon as they come out of the eggs, but we're making these high white pies. We have some really good pied stuff, and we actually might have some really high white pied stuff that actually is going to end up proving genetic and friendly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a little excited about that because the whole pied gene in reticulated pythons, as long as it's been around and it's so dramatic looking, it's not being bred in a lot of other things because we often get a lot of these low expression pied retics, and they're usually psychos. They pee, they bite, or whatever. And big snake that even though it's pretty, that you have to have a war with, that's not always fun. So ball pythons, obviously, ball pythons are very important to me. I just don't want to make too many of them because there's so many cool ball pythons out there. The price point has largely come down on them. So making these ridiculously unique animals with 7, 10 different genes, and they're only, whatever the value is, I still want to be inspired. So I don't want to make a ton of ball pythons. There's a lot of cool other animals. I just want to do a lot of different things. I like challenges. I can breed ball pythons well. I can make crazy looking ball pythons, and that fulfills me to a certain degree. But I need other challenges. I need things that are green, that hang in branches, that not everybody else is breeding. I need Bolin's pythons.
Chameleons?
I need. I love chameleons.
Hey, why don't you do monitors heavily, right? That's like
monitors.
Nothing,
Monitors are just such a challenge because
right.
of their brains, and I'm forever fascinated by their brains.
What's your advantage that you have on everybody? Like, because I noticed not a lot of people breed monitors. Like, do you have just more space in them, or what?
My advantage is I probably understand monitors pretty well because it's just I've really locked my brain in there, and I'm the originator of T positive albinos, T negative albinos, all sorts of different monitor things that have never existed here. So I started from wild caught animals. I brought all sorts of different water monitor variations to market, and they're a huge part of me and very, very important to me. So the water monitors are a key part of Nerd, and now we're gonna start. Sorry,
you're okay.
We're gonna start bringing. We have some double het stuff, and we're gonna. I'm doing some new caging and stuff like that. So as I maybe downsize a little bit on ball pythons, a little bit on retics, I want to upsize like caging and stuff on monitors because monitors are a big deal to me. expanding into. I really like mangrove snakes a lot. I like all sorts of different tree colubrids, which means things that lay eggs that live in trees. I really like that type of stuff. I'm like fascinated by Gonosoma, Excephalo, red-tailed rat snakes. I like Jansenii. I like all sorts of big, gnarly tree-dwelling colubrids that are all huffy and puffy. I love blood python, so a big sedentary caterpillar that lives in leaf material. Wow. So I do want to do different stuff like dwarf caiman. I'm like just
you're really good at that too. A lot of people don't do that. So what if we start redoing our building and you're going to be doing things differently? You want to expand your monitors. What's something that when I first started working here in 2007, it wasn't the same upstairs. Now there's a cave up there. There's a lot of different things. You expanded your monitors. What are you going to do differently up there when you grow your monitors up there that you're not doing now? Like, for instance, you want to be automated, right?
I want to get things more automated, and I want to redo caging. I keep rethinking my caging and my systems and how I manage animals. I have different ideas. I don't like to always share. I'm a little bit secretive because I'm working through some of my successes. And it's almost like some of this is like proprietary. I mean, to a certain degree, like how do you make that engine so fast, or how do you make that engine so light? Well, this is years and years and years of what I'm doing, and I am. These guys all know it. I go into lonely mode where I go by myself.
It's true.
And I go and do stuff by myself because this is me working through some stuff. Because, like I said, I do make mistakes, and I need to figure things out. So sometimes I don't need people talking to me. I don't need to be talking to people as I'm trying to figure stuff out. If anything, I get really crazy.
Aggravated.
Do not talk to Kevin when he's building
like,
stuff.
Poor Amanda today. I'm like working on some cages. She's like, comes over like, how are the cages going? And I'm like, looking at her.
Amanda's our nicest girl that works
upstairs. Amanda's so nice, and I'm like, I go, I have nothing to say to you. And she's like, what? She's horrified.
Did you apologize, dude?
No, I felt like that. I go, Amanda. I go, I'm actually tearing things apart. So there is nothing good going on right now because I'm tearing things apart and I'm making a mess. And I'm like doing this, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I go, no, Amanda, you're fine. But I go, I won't say anything positive about my cages until they actually start
done and working.
No, they start like where I can see the forest through the trees. But poor Amanda.
You just sometimes don't know how you sound to people. It's the funniest thing about you, because like you will say the most venomous stuff to people, and you won't think it's terrible.
Nasty.
And they'll hold on to it forever.
No,
forever.
And it's poor Amanda. She's like looking at me, and I'm like, oh God. I just like, but I'm like, but I try to like, Amanda, I'm like, you're doing fine. I go, it's me. I'm like, I'm just trying to, I just don't have anything positive to say because I haven't done anything in my brain that's making me feel positive because I'm working through all these different things. So
I love it. I like when you're honest like that, because I think a lot of people don't realize how interesting you can be. Yeah. Your social cues and your
That's true. That's true.
I like to if he gives me negative, I give him negative right back. That's just how you do it.
Wait. Greatest interaction with an employee and Kevin today happened to be with Gianni. He was like, gee, you forgot, your brain failed you, your memory failed you, you forgot to put the ball pythons back in room 2 that were on one of the racks. And he was just like, oh, okay. He's like, no.
It's like he goes, you're right, I forgot. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, he didn't argue with me. I'm like, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So just let's not forget.
Yeah.
But usually it's always like, oh yeah, and I'm like, that makes me crazy. I love it when people
cap it. My laptop's
right. Yeah. You're right.
What do you think, I'm being like a sicko?
I love it. I love it when somebody tries to like think that they can outwit me. Like, oh yeah, did you do that? Yeah, I did that. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't do it. And now you're gonna get an argument because I have these little micro arguments in my head. So I walk away and I'm like, you freaking just lied. You just misled me and lied to me. I go, you must think I'm a moron. So then I walk around, and then I just sit here and I have a little bit colored bunch of ideas in my brain, and I'll torture you next time because you play games with me.
You'll hold on to it.
Yeah, just be straight up.
Do you hold on to grudges, Kevin? Like, for how long do you think? Because you'll say horrendous stuff to people that are, it's deserved most of the time. Seriously, because I've heard some stuff. But like, do you take that energy with you for like a week, or do you forget about it shortly afterwards?
Sometimes I do. I can hold on to I can really hold on to a grudge, and then it changes my behavior towards somebody later on, where I'm like, I'll just pretend like, oh yeah, it didn't bother me, and I'm like, I'm going to make you pay.
That's interesting.
I will.
I've always figured that you hold on to stuff.
I do that. But one thing is, I will if I get mad and I just explode on somebody, just let me do it. Mm-hmm. I'll just explode like the Tasmanian devil, and then 5 minutes, I am fine. Good. And that I don't hold the grudge then.
You gotta let Kevin explode on you, but you really don't let it fester.
But yeah, if we have like a little thing, or you think you upset me, and then all of a sudden I stop talking to you, that means I am internalizing it, and then I'm pissed.
And then you just wait.
And I'm pissed, and I'm in. Yep.
Yeah. And I pretend like people are dead too.
But I can forgive people. I'm very good at forgiving.
Yep. You got to admit you're wrong though to Kevin. You got to grovel.
Yeah. Yeah, just own it.
That's just the inside workings of Kevin. I thought you guys would be interested in it.
Yeah. So okay, so I want to go back a little bit. This is also partly for me. I'm being a little selfish because don't often.
It's more interesting the comments people leave on YouTube. They'd probably be less interesting. If they left them on Twitch, they'd be more interesting.
Probably.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
So kind of talking again about like changing the direction of the collection a little bit. One of the things that I learned over the years from like you and Brian Barczyk and a couple of other people that have like guided me along the way is diversity in the collection is kind of key for longevity if you're trying to breed snakes and work with snakes versus focusing on maybe one or two species. Is that something that you think is one of the things that's been successful for you?
So basically, not that I have any stock. I'm not like I have no stock at all, so I have nothing in the stock market, but I'm certainly aware of it. Mm-hmm. So you would have like a portfolio. So I'm a business owner. I have 20-something employees. They work for me. I'm responsible for their payroll, and I'm responsible for all the different things. So I have to basically, the monetary engine of this company is based around my ideas, how I think. So as a business owner, I need to think outwardly, and the people that I hire need to think inwardly to keep my engine oiled and basically those antifreeze and make sure the windshield wipers are going so I can see and all that. So people like Jeremy, he's one of the critical people, but there's a whole bunch of them. The Tammys and the Dans. And
Tammy's your woman behind the scenes.
Tammy's got my back.
For how many years? Like
she's been with me so probably 2002, could be like 2002, something like that. Yep. Yeah, but Tammy's got my back, and so it's good. I don't really. It's nice to have somebody like that. She deals with my finances, and I don't question it, and it's nice to have somebody like that. And she's an alpha female, and she's a monster.
I think it's sexy. I like that she's an alpha.
She'll
destroy you guys. Are you intimidated by Tammy ever? Does she ever scare you a little bit? No, she scared me so many times.
No, Tammy has gotten smart where she doesn't go to war with me anymore. She used to go to war with me
when she was younger.
Yeah,
she used to be really feisty.
She got smart, and it was good. But she knows not going to war with me is how she gets me to see her way. If you go to war with me and you challenge me, then I'm gonna like we had a little meeting the other day, and I got some little ultimatums, and then Dan's like, you don't want to give him ultimatums, because if you give him ultimatum, he won't do what you want him to do. Yeah. So you just say whatever, but don't do an ultimatum.
Somebody told you what to do.
That doesn't.
It's okay. Can you talk about the ultimatum?
It's done. We won't talk about that.
See, I think it's so interesting when he talks about this stuff.
So let's go back. So basically, it's a portfolio. So some of my stock or some of my projects have to be the new, edgy, something that isn't there, something I need to bring to market, something that, hey, this could be a really good animal that I think it needs to be more mainstream, or it needs to be more people have access to captive-born animals. So that is a huge part of my vision. So if I always look at the same vision as going, let's just keep repeating, so we can just keep working with the ball pythons, and as time goes on, we're breeding more and more weird genes, and you have your little projects. But unless you add something new and crazy to your ball python mix, or you add new species that you're working with, okay, a great example would be like leucistic king cobra. I saw something, I took big chance, worked with my my people that are my support system. You know, like much like Noah would be in Africa, I have my guys in Indo. You know, I have my Tawnies and Andri, and people that I inherently trust that have my best interest, and they're my support team. I want to get a blue-eyed leucistic king cobra, and I want to take the chance to see if I can breed it and see if I can bring those genetics in, because I think ultimately that's a wonderful education, display, target animal that people from everywhere would want to see. So that is a big chance. Spend a lot of money. You got to see if you can breed it. So that's one of those big things where you take a chance and maybe, and I do mean maybe, I'm not just like, oh yeah, I can just do this, because it's always very chancy. But you get that, and that becomes something that there might be things that help the company financially, as well as even social media. You know, having a white leucistic king cobra is, you know, it gets people's interest. Having, you know, we're gonna show a nice albino something soon.
I think people know what it is, Kevin. You kind of dropped the ball a couple times. But we haven't done a really good video on it. I've got amazing footage of it, though, that we haven't released.
We need to do, we have something that I'm very excited to have. It's an albino snake, and it's a T negative.
We could put out more videos, but honestly, they would lack in quality, and I just don't have time anymore.
So, I mean, it's coming. So it's albino. So I like mangrove snakes, guys. So it's a T negative albino melanota. So Boega dendrophila melanota.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And that's that's a big deal. This thing is unbelievable looking.
Gorgeous.
So
was it wild caught, or is this?
Oh yeah.
It was?
So you basically you want to have some new exciting things. So I need these new exciting things to keep me excited, keep me motivated, keep me challenged, because just breeding the same ball pythons might not be the most challenging thing for me. So I need to kind of go into like an area where this could be really new and edgy and something that other people haven't done. So that's important. Just even like the T positive albino Diablos python. Mm-hmm. That Diablos pythons are not easy to breed, but I have bred Diablos pythons before. So, and the snake is just so beautiful. It would be great to see that being out there available for hobbyists. So we do the same thing when I buy weird monitors, water monitors. So you always have to keep new, interesting stuff, but then keep your standard stuff that your customers. I want to buy a blue-eyed leucistic ball python from you. I want to buy a cow retic. I want to buy just a beautiful albino retic from you. So you have to keep variety to keep it interesting. But a lot of people do. They get lazy. And a lot of people that were in this industry that are not even here anymore is they didn't keep on adapting. And I just kept on adapting and rethinking and adjusting how I'm keeping my stuff, because I am probably every day getting to be a little bit better of a keeper. And that is best. And if you don't stay hungry, or if you party and you want to just have fun because you've made some kind of success and now you want to reap your rewards, I've always taken my rewards and thrown them back into the hobby, into what I'm doing, into my business. And if you don't keep reinvesting in yourself and in your vision, you can easily fall by the wayside. And I've watched so many of the other breeders do that are no longer here, because they just were satisfied or whatever it is. It makes me a little bit different than many.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever think that you don't ever party because you're super lame and you never travel? Do you think maybe that some of your depression comes from you not taking any of that? No, I'm dead serious, because I remember you bought this building. I remember after
I built this building
on the money that you got successful in the ball python industry, and then you just tortured yourself not having fun for the last how many 20 years? Do you not feel the same way? That I'm looking at it going, this guy's doing it.
I used to have this nickname for Donny the douchebag.
Oh, that's not right. I'm trying to help you, man. Jesus Christ. I want you to go on vacation.
Yeah, so if I go on vacation, this whole place falls apart, and I really care so much about my animals, and it freaks me out.
Yeah, don't you think that's insulting to
Jeremy? Dave Kaufman. So you've been texting me, and I have to actually digest what you talked about with the Thailand thing, because I do want to do that, and just trying to. Dave gave me some different ideas about how we might be able to do this. So I'm about ready to look at this and digest this. But it would be kind of nice to do.
To travel?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I would.
To travel. Or bring Tyler Nolan will come here.
No, I know he'll come here. I know that for sure. But just for your sake, maybe like go on vacation. Just you, maybe like I don't know, not film it. I was kind of trying to say that. Or how about I don't know. You've never bought a nice car or anything. You just always had like vans and
My van that gets stuck on a snowflake.
Never mind.
Wow.
Sorry.
Hey, it did get stuck at the old building with me and Dan. Did you tell me about that?
Yeah, you guys left a mess outside there. I go over there today and I'm like, there's like boards everywhere and mud and I'm just like, hey, wow, you dirty bastard. You left my cocoa mat like in front of the bulkhead and all that. I was like,
I don't know who did that. We didn't do that.
Kill.
There was no cocoa mat there.
Kill
everybody.
Kill.
That's cool.
All because we got stuck in the snow.
Yep, memoirs. All right, cool.
All right, so we got that jeweler guy just gave us another $10 for Kevin's thoughts on my first ball python breeding ever. I got a yellow belly pastel enchi and a yellow belly calico pinstripe in together right now. Too many cooks in the kitchen?
No. Okay, so yellow belly pastel enchi to
yellow belly calico pin.
So obviously you're gonna make these ivories. Pastel enchi ivories are really pretty, and they can really have really nice heads. But it's an ivory, so it's leucism and other genes fighting to express themselves. So the calico is it's a dominant gene, so it's gonna varying amounts of how it expresses itself. But pastel enchi yellow belly calico is really good. I don't know, the pinstripe might be my least favorite in there. You might still be able to make some, if you get the full expression, which is like pastel, pin, enchi, calico, yellow belly, that could be nice. I still think I like the pastel, enchi, calico, yellow belly. I think like a really good one like that is going to be singing on that. So, I do like that. That's good stuff.
You got another one?
Yeah. No, that was
I paused the alerts for a little bit, so like they came.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when they came in slow.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure we got that before it went away.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I've been just reading the chat. It's been like a lot of nonsense. Nobody's given me anything interesting. Kevin would even like to, answer. Is there anything that you see that's interesting?
Let's see.
Kevin, what's a question that people ask you that's super annoying that you don't like answering? Like the ones, the questions Jason asked you the other day. Did any of those like you've answered 1,000 times kind of annoy you?
Well, those are pretty basic. So we're talking about Jason's exotic reptiles, and Jason, who's my buddy.
Yep.
And I have boas with him, and so Jason has a bunch of my boas. He interviewed Brian Barczyk and myself, and he had some good questions because obviously it's interesting to hear what other people want to ask us and what they think is important or inspiring. Because, sometimes I'd be rattling off, this is the correct dose of Flagyl when you have protozoan infection and blah, 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 blah. And like Kevin's just talking about the stuff I don't even know what he's talking about. And then they they're newbies or they're just getting into it or they're, they have very simple desires. And I will generally run right past that and escape that. So, like what was your first snake or something like that? Those, you could be like, God, how lame that is. But actually, you think back, and it's like, you need to cover every aspect. So I don't like having to answer that all the time. But one thing I do like doing in this video media is this is a resource. It's just like when people are asking, like, I got this monitor, not from me, of course, and they want to tame it. Like, what's the best way to tame it? Well, I have tons of videos. How to tame your monitor, how to tame your snake, how to socialize your animal. I have videos. I have like 5 videos. You just got a reptile from somebody. What are some of the first mistakes you can do with it, and actually how you should actually treat that animal from unpacking that animal and what your expectations are. But I have so much media that I do for people to understand these things and try not to make these mistakes. But I just wish people would actually go over some of the older videos because there's so much good content in there.
I some of those are in playlists now, but I'm still the next thing on my agenda is to get some of your older videos and playlists. But the problem is, I think YouTube doesn't show them anymore because they're like a low resolution. I think that's, but maybe we put them in a playlist. But it'd be nice to remake some of those videos, Kevin. Maybe bring some crazy animals for you to talk, you know, have like something that's like people think is like crazy that you can whisper to. That'd be a good series. I've always wanted to do that. You just need crazy animals. You still want to do that? Where you bring like a snake that doesn't behave, you know, to the stuff like that. Let's say.
I'm going through comments.
Is anybody here local that wants to do a private tour with Kevin? Because that's something we need to have. Kevin, I mean, who would like to do that? Have you put thought about how you would do that yet? You think you could survive that? Your private tours?
If you guys make me.
If you guys make. Nobody wants to make you do anything, Kevin. Remember? Remember, no ultimatums.
Yeah.
We're not stupid.
Kevin, you have to do tours.
Is that how Tammy would say it? Or else. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my
She sounds like a Scarlet Macaw when she's mad. That's real. Is it not? Very witchy. Has she started to sound like a witch? Like an actual witch from the Wizard of Oz? Does she not like sound like that sometimes? Does she do it on purpose? I don't know. It's so strange. I wish she would let me video.
I want to ask everybody where they're from. Because we try to do that in most of the live videos. We just like seeing where people are from, seeing where the nerd reach is kind of getting.
How old you are too, and if you're a female or a male. So ASL, everybody.
Wow.
Well, our demographics only go so far, or analytics. Apparently, we appeal more to younger men. We used to appeal to females and males, but to get the female younger viewers is like really hard apparently on YouTube. I would just like you have to be
eyelashes and
No.
Eyelashes?
I mean makeup, yes.
Or shaving off your eyebrows and then redrawing them perfectly.
Oh man.
I think that's like slimmer. That's a niche. I don't think everybody's into that. But when it comes to the animal community, I think it's very hard to get the female viewership unless you're a female. I don't know. That's my theory.
I think a lot of, you could have women or girls or whatever that sometimes they get excited to watch another woman, girl talk about these animals because it's maybe you could sit here and say, oh, it's a male-dominated industry or whatever, so maybe it's a little bit more exciting to get it from your own sex.
It is a male-dominated industry more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about, especially with retics, right? Because like I have never ever seen a female work primarily with retics here. They just can't, right? It's just like I couldn't even do it. I'm not even strong enough to do it. Like it's just a fact.
Emily.
I mean, but like the huge ones every day. Gianni goes through a workout. You gotta admit that guy that's probably the most heavy intensive job here, right? Working with the retics, would you say? Or maybe not? Maybe rodents. Kevin's rodents. Okay, I knew it would come out.
Yeah.
Rodents are rough.
All right, so I'm seeing California, the UK.
Hello.
Idaho, New York City, Pennsylvania, Montana, South Carolina, Atlanta,
get it right.
Texas, Florida, Dover, New Hampshire. That's close.
Why don't you come for a private tour then?
Germany. Let's see, Maine, Michigan, Peabody, Mass, Georgia, Toronto, Denver, Ontario. The Shetland Islands.
You're doing that thing that Instagrams do when they just read the comments.
I'm looking for the cool ones.
What do you think is gonna be cool? Like an island?
England. Yeah, I mean islands are cool. Buffalo, Sweden, Washington State. Someone says they're from Mars. That's unfortunate.
Oh, I live there.
Fact.
Maryland, Illinois, Australia, Perth.
It's cool. We get some definitely. I see comments from people in Australia, and it's like
a lot of them are in our Discord too.
So cool.
Yeah, so cool. That's cool. Thank you guys. It's always cool just to see where you guys are from.
It is pretty crazy how we can all people all over the world. It just can be in the same chat space. That's pretty cool.
You used to do it on forums. That's how old school you are, man.
Yeah, I used to be a monster on forums.
Yep.
One of my goals in forums, I like to pick fights or fight with people and then destroy them.
And you wonder why I do the YouTube videos, all right? Like, guys,
no, I far more behaved now.
Yeah. Well, this is why he tolerates me, guys, because he used to do it on the internet. I used to come in early in the morning. I remember you'd be sitting at your computer on forums. That's how you would do everything.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever want to take a look, I have all of the old forums cached. I have them all so we can look at them and see his old posts if you want to look at them, because it's so funny. Oh, like me and Rob are looking at it.
You watch me fight with anybody?
No, but we can see all your posts and we can see all your old ads. For like tons of them are still up there. But yeah, I could probably find your fights. It's super funny. Yeah. We used to have that website up, and it looked like it was made in the 90s. It was like there for like 20.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if you're on Twitch, guys, look at our panels below. They have links to our merch store and our animal store. If you didn't know, I'm gonna put a Morph Market link on there and some other stuff. I haven't had time, but so you know, all that stuff's there. And if you want any of the other links that we've been talking about, like our TikToks, that should be in the video description right now. TikToks, like our TikToks, or Kevin will lose his mind. You don't want that. Yeah.
He'll really start twitching.
Yeah. Anything else you want to promote? And his Instagram, he's at 51,000 now. That's huge for Kevin. That's like a grant. That's a grant. It's like 1,000 in like a week.
Yeah, actually, it bumped up from.
It's a big deal, Kevin. It might be at 52 now. I don't know.
No, 51.
51.
Yeah.
You tracking?
You're staying humble.
Nice.
51.
Good, as you should.
I told Brian. So I was talking to Brian today, and I'm like, yeah. I go, you helped me get like 15 new subscribers. He's like, oh, it's got to be more than that. I'm like, all right, 17. And he's like, are you serious? You only got 17 new subscribers?
I wonder if you tracked his links. That's what I do.
I was joking. I said no. I'm just
no.
It's it's really interesting though. It's like building this channel, but not doing like the crazy clickbait stuff that would give us probably leaps and bounds.
What do you think is crazy in your mind? Like the Gianni thing, was that crazy? Because we didn't set that up at all.
No,
and
that wasn't because that was like it's like legit. You're not like let's go like do a bite video and like that's your plan. So if we had a bite and it's happening during whatever, then I think that's open season.
Organic. I'm all about organic stuff. I hate skits, guys. I hate that stuff.
You were there just talking to him, and he like lined up that whole.
It looks set up. Thing. It really does.
Yeah. That's no, but it's just
that was picture perfect.
Click. I guess I just don't want to do like clickbait that like down the road we'd be like, God, we were just so. Why did we do that?
I'm already looking at content that I made 3 months ago, and go, man, what was I thinking? So I mean, things are changing.
We got to learn. I mean, like I do stuff like 5 years ago, and you just think, oh, what was I thinking? I mean, that's just life about being humbled or whatever, and I think life is just about that. You're always gonna have like regrets or whatever. But we did that video with Brian and I sitting down, and we were talking about some of that stuff.
That was money. Yep.
I thought it was really good because I was just talking to Brian a little bit, just how like the dynamics have changed and people really were faulting him for all the bitey stuff. But there's another side of that. The goofy bitey stuff was kind of showing you how like largely insignificant a bite from a carpet python really is, even though it might look like it's savage to you. But to people that don't know anything about reptiles, I think if we look at people that keep reptiles and you're showing how insignificant some of these bites are, I understand that. But I also understand that to somebody who doesn't keep reptiles at all, that thinks that we just want to keep these gnarly monsters because they just kill things or whatever. Yeah. I'm trying to be a little more sensitive to that because I'm looking at the bigger picture about the legislation and how people will do anything they can to not want a reptile in a house. Even the CDC puts out all this really poor information that really makes me upset. Like if you're an infant under the age of 5 or 7 and you're somebody who's over the age of 65, you shouldn't have reptiles in the house because they're a danger. Just having those animals it's like some disease vector. That is some of the most poor information going, and it makes me nuts. So people actually think that I like to eat snake sheds, guys. Like he's just munching on.
I mean,
snake
people
sheds.
mail them to you, dude. Stop mailing your snake sheds, guys.
But I'm also kind of it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek thing where I'm kind of like going, okay, they're always the gross exaggeration about the disease vector or something like that or whatever. Oh, my stomach's kind of hurting me right now. No, it's just I'm mocking it. I'm mocking. Yeah. Reptiles have never made me sick.
So the sensational stuff. So we will. I mean, we're definitely gonna make interesting thumbnails and titles and stuff, and it's because we need to get exposure, guys. Because Kevin lecturing.
We got to figure out some effective kind of clickbait that we're not gonna be like totally embarrassed by. But it would be nice to grow this. I mean, we are growing organically,
like a lawn that has been composted.
We are. I show the YouTube stats, and we are blowing past people in the same community. We're blowing past them. Do you need me to like pull them out right now and be like, hey, this is the last 90-day average, just to be like, to shame you? It's so frustrating. It's like literally, it's like, oh yeah, well maybe one day you'll be, successful.
I was looking at my phone and it said we had a new subscriber.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
That was really cool.
Why do you have your notifications on? You're a big deal, man.
TikTok. I see
TikTok?
I had like 2 subscribers in 2 days.
That's how you know you're not doing good at TikTok, when you have your notifications on.
Oh my god.
No, it's real
That's
talk.
amazing.
I never bothered to shut them off. That's all.
You will if they ever blow up.
Yeah, exactly.
My phone goes mental all the
Yeah. Can I say when we took that road trip, like I was amazed at how consistent your phone was going off. Like how consistently your phone was going off. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I get a lot.
Wow.
A lot of
how many of those answered? Do you get a whole bunch of messages from people you don't know and you just ignore them?
I don't answer any of my Facebook stuff.
Oh yeah, that's a fact, guys.
I don't answer any of my Instagram stuff. I have some people on WhatsApp. Sometimes on Facebook Messenger, I'll see something, and then I get these snotty people that are very angry at me that think that I'm ghosting them. I'm not ghosting you. I just don't look. And occasionally I look, and so I have some of my friends that they know how to get a hold of me like that, but it has to be like on a whim.
Yeah,
it sure does.
Can I tell you when it comes to Facebook Messenger, when I like every once in a while I'll get a random ding and it's like Kevin McCurley sent you a message.
Yep.
Every single time it happens, I think somebody hacked his account.
Yep.
Because I don't believe it's him until I look at the context of the message. I'm like, yeah, that's something Kevin would send me.
Yeah. It's random. It's just when Kevin's in the mood to communicate.
To be on. But it always, like the first time I think you ever sent me anything on Facebook, I was like, there's no way in hell.
If you ever see a post, if you ever see a Kevin post, it ain't real. There's no way it's real. Because like I don't even bother tagging him and stuff anymore. Because I'm like, he doesn't even. What am I doing here? Even on Instagram, I don't even know why I bother. I just do it so I can find the post on his account easily and promote it. It's all.
It's amazing, but the reason, one of the biggest reasons for that is like this man works so much. Like, oh my gosh,
he literally does not care about like, I don't know, the validation of like getting likes on his photos and stuff. He puts it out there and then he walks away from it, and then it's on us.
That's true.
Like he's I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a super chat just came in. $10 from Matt Thompson. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Hey guys, congrats on the 70K. Could you go over the Jaguar gene? I'd love to get a pair, but I've heard there's some risk involved.
Okay, so the Jaguar gene is a retake that originally came out of the wild, and we proved its genetics. So basically, I'd like to think it's probably incomplete dominant, but I think that the super expression of the Jag gene might be either fatal or wonky. So I just have a certain feeling. So some Jags will have motor skill issues, and some have almost no motor. Actually, some have no motor skill issues at all. So it's a bit of a roll of the dice. I would recommend though, when you are incubating Jag eggs, maybe incubating a little bit cooler temperature. I would not get Jags to breed to each other. I would get, Jags are fantastic, and I love the Jag genes. I mean, some of the Jag combos we have are just
phenomenal,
awesome. A lot of our Jags are good, but I know if I incubate Jags too hot, I'm more likely to get some squirrely snakes. So now we just do cooler temperatures, and it certainly seems to help. But so basically the only worry is just the motor skill type stuff. So if you get Jags, let's say if you get Jags from us, as long as they're eating and stuff like that and it's not bad, then they're wonderful. I love them.
Yeah.
And they're so friggin' pretty.
They are amazing. Even just like albino Jag, like very simple combo.
Yeah, and
like
some of them like
amazing.
you get nothing at all. Like we just made marble phantom Jags, and they're just very
amazing.
very very pretty.
Yeah. Yep. Amazing stuff. So the one thing I will say, because I just of course see it kind of popping through, two things actually. If you are interested in what we have available, please go to the website NewEnglandReptileStore.com. All of our availability is there. We're always adding stuff, guys. We have produced a lot of ball pythons and a lot of retics, and we're hatching a lot of monitors. So we're updating the website constantly. So
link in the panel.
Is the link in the panel?
Link in the panel's on Twitch
And just a fun little fact, we have way more than what's ever posted.
Yeah.
You only get to see a smidgen of different stuff because it's so much work for Rob and Emily to do that and stay current with all the customers and all the things that are required of them. So sometimes it's a really great idea to tell us what you're looking for, develop a little bit of a relationship with us. And we actually really like some of our consistent customers that we get into just common back and forth with when they're telling us they're looking for something. And we'll also bend over backwards a lot of times to try to help you get something or actually chime in and give you our input. And some projects are good or some species are good. Some of them I might actually tell you I don't even like because maybe there's something I don't like about it or a negative.
Yeah, for sure. Always feel free to send us an email or you can call as well. I think we have, as far as ball pythons, maybe between 20 and 25% of what we've produced actually available on the website now. So definitely send us an email if you're looking for something in particular or wanting to get involved in a project. We most likely have something available. And more often than not, you'll get a response from either myself or Rob or Emily or on the rare occasion Kevin when he's looking at emails.
But he won't tell you when he answers the phone.
Yeah. He won't tell you when it's him on the phone.
This is John and not Nerd. How can I help you? He's secret.
But also the other thing I've seen come up a bunch of times, so I just want to bring it up, is Lilith is doing amazingly well. But we're letting her settle in, so we're not going to bring her onto the live stream. We're certainly not showing her off anymore. We need her to settle down and eat and all that stuff. So we're just as excited as you guys.
She did eat.
She did eat?
Yeah.
Amazing.
We would make video. That's important that you say that because we are not torturing this animal. A lot of people are like, "Why are you guys messing with that animal? You guys are torturing the animal. You shouldn't be messing." You could mainly aim towards Brian, to be honest with you. But the fact is, guys, we are letting it chill out now, and that's
she's great.
Since we did the thing with Brian, she's nothing. No one's messed with her,
and it's eating. But you're trying to get it on.
Sure ate.
That's good. Awesome.
She ate a snake.
So we're not just gonna I like to joke around, so we're gonna use that thing to get views. It's a joke, guys. It's an animal. We care about it.
I did. Little Bella had her birthday the other day, and she's like a huge fan of mine.
That girl's adorable.
Little Bella. So we see her a lot. Her dad's wonderful. So I was like, let's go upstairs and let Bella pose in front of her. But Lilith likes to watch us.
Yeah.
Lilith's actually calmed down. She's calmed down a fair bit too. Yeah. So she's really on point. She's so amazing, and it's almost shocking that we actually got her and I have her, and hopefully we can just do really great things with her. But
what's the next thing you want to do with her? I mean, I think a lot of people. I keep telling Kevin that a lot of you guys, I think, would just love to watch us interact, clean the enclosures, because that's what a lot of other channels do. They just clean their enclosures, do maintenance stuff, and a lot of people like to see what it says.
I really like Tyler Nolan, because Tyler likes King Cobras. Mm-hmm. I love Tyler. I guess I like Tyler coming there just because.
What about us?
What?
Just specifically us,
though.
Okay.
I was just saying that I wanted him to come and just be able to appreciate it, because sometimes when somebody else is appreciating something,
he's very good at us. Yes.
It really kind of lays in your brain. Right now, the most important thing is getting her settled in. She's kind of really on point about what she actually wants to eat, so that's a little bit of a worry to me. As far as I do want to get some rodents into her life, because king cobras are snake eaters naturally, or lizard eaters too, and I have only so many frozen or different things. So the plan is to get her into some kind of rodents in her life, and then at some point begin some worming. So remember one thing: when you worm a reptile, you're poisoning the reptile enough to kill its parasites, but not to kill the animal. and that's a very fine line. So when you do worm an animal, you are basically accepting the responsibility that there's a little bit of stress you're going to be adding on that animal. So let's say an animal had a really high parasite load. When you start killing those parasites that you're targeting with whatever anti-parasitic agent you're using, as you kill those worms or parasites, the dying organics of those parasites basically is something that the body actually has to manage. So if you kill, let's say she had a bunch of tapeworms, you kill a bunch of tapeworms in the gut, she might be able to, when she craps, she can pass a lot of that. But let's say she has, I'm worming her for, let's say, lungworm or some kind of nematodes, ascarids, or not annelids, excuse me. What am I talking? Wow, my brain just died.
Nematodes are real.
No, nematodes, trematodes, flukes, any stuff like that. Just depending whatever our target is, some of those organisms live in other parts of the body. So they'll live in the body cavity, they can live in the lungs, live in the liver, all different stuff like that. So when you actually use antiparasitic agent and you start killing these worms, some of those worms die in different parts of the body, or they cause trauma as they're dying, they're biting into blood vessels. So all these different things are potential hazards. And as these organisms, let's say, die, they start, they're dying in the body cavity. The snake has no real good way of absorbing all of that dead, organic material that used to be a parasite. So you basically you could potentially overburden that animal with all that material dying, and it become, they could be toxoplasmosis. It could be just toxic buildup in the animal. So you really want to be careful. So you take it slow, and you want to manage her stress, keep it low, and that's doing everything right. There's always still hazards. So those are things. But I've been getting some messages, people, discussing that, and that's something will be in the future. We want to get her wormed.
Mm-hmm. So we got a couple of super chats. Stephen.
Ascarids, not annelids, I meant to say.
No. Stephen or Stefan, sorry, Barry, donated $9.99. Shout out the NH. I don't know what the NH means. That's just supposed to be
New Hampshire?
Okay.
Yeah, can you believe that New England Reptile, we're based in New Hampshire? I grew up in Lexington, Massachusetts, and so I came from Massachusetts, but New Hampshire had more reasonable laws, so it was attractive to me. So I just basically came one town over Massachusetts into New Hampshire, but I am now in New Hampshire. I was not born in New Hampshire, but I do appreciate New Hampshire Fish and Game because I work with New Hampshire Fish and Game and involved in the timber rattlesnake program, so that's really great too.
And then we have another super chat. Olivia Constantino donated $4.99. Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you, Olivia.
I'm a volunteer at the Reptarium. I've been watching your content since my boss came to visit you. Are you going to visit us in Michigan soon?
I would definitely like to come and visit you. Maybe not in the middle of the Michigan winter, because your winters suck way more than ours.
True.
And yeah, so, but I'm dying to see. Brian has not brought me my rubber rock. I'm dying to see that stuff.
He didn't give us any merch.
And he promoted it all in our video. Can you
that.
believe that? He didn't bring us any free
We
shirts.
gave him swag when we went there after Tinley.
Barcheckboys.com. Barcheckboys.com.
Yeah.
Like 100 times.
Yeah.
And blocking our links, you mother.
Dang it.
And all you guys are like, Brian put his links in the video description. You put them way below his merch. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
We still love him though.
We do still love
You guys
him.
need to understand when we're joking.
Even though you put me in a dumpster how many years ago?
Yes, and I did put that in our last video.
Yeah.
So people could enjoy that. It's a great clip.
Yeah.
It's really his mustache is great.
It from when,
From way back when. Do you remember that mustache, Kevin?
absolutely.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh, that was a different time.
And I keep seeing this in you guys need to realize when I make a video and I pull in another person for the community, for instance Chandler, we're joking around. I like Chandler. We watch his videos. We like Tyler. That's why we put him in the video. If we didn't like him, we wouldn't promote him in our video.
So let's get one thing straight. So if we all like reptiles and somebody like Chandler, you love reptiles and you did that thing where you saved all the king cobras and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How could I
People think he just dissed us. No. And you know what? If he did, he's not understanding. We like him. That's why I took the time to make that video. We're joking around.
We're a little bit jealous because he's.
Oh hell yeah, we're
done
super
so
jealous.
Well, but he's an animal lover and he's doing good things. I like it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Honestly, and you would know if we had a problem with anybody in the community because we have no problem doing that. So guys, you gotta understand when we joke around, we're joking around. Like, you guys stop trying to stir the pot when it's not even there.
All right, we got another super chat from Christopher Jeff C. Donated $4.99. Thank you, man. Kevin, in retics, what genes are prone to pushing issues? I've always been told genes like super tigers push more than most. But I want to ask you guys.
So there's something with super tigers just in general. So we have a little bit, as you line breed the tiger gene, sometimes you can make super tigers that are a little, they have like issues around the eyes, the scalation around the eyes, bulging eyes. So you get some of that. And so we're visually discerning. Sometimes super tigers can just be a little bit different looking. Who knows what's actually going on physiologically? So what's going on there? How does that affect the nervous system and all the different stuff like that? So maybe you get a little bit more like rubbing the face, the fang face and everything like that. It's a really, like, what animals are more likely to do that? I mean, I've had some super tigers which are absolutely so wonderful and so perfect. I think it comes down to the breeding, what the stock is from the person you're getting it from. But there are certainly animals. Let's say tiger retics or super tigers are known often to be very placid, whereas maybe a platinum retic in some cases can be a little bit feisty, reactive. Certainly pied retics are reactive and a little bit snotty, but prone to rubbing. Any retic can rub, and they'll do it for a variety of different reasons. And young retics just love to rub because they're very curious in their enclosure. So them getting the rub head and a little bit of like the fang face. They'll even do it in the bag. It's usually not necessarily like, don't expect, when you're buying a baby retic from somebody, don't expect that thing to come in and just the physics of that animal are like pristine always, because those are the snakes that push and do more things. So if you get a snake that has a banged up nose and it's nothing really bad or anything like that, just discount that and just set them up and keep them quiet, give them good hide and feed them well, and they just get right through that. So there's more to that subject, but
cool. I want to kind of bounce on that because you just kind of brought this up. So looking at like tigers and super tigers versus like platinums and pieds. So I think we've kind of seen with retic morphs, we can kind of discern which animals might be a little more defensive or reactive. Do you think we can see that, or have you seen that in other species where certain mutations maybe offer certain challenges behaviorally, or maybe like feeding issues or anything like that?
So like, let's say like the Enchi gene and ball pythons, they can be sometimes that one snake that's a little bit snippy, but they also be fantastic feeders. You can sometimes get pieds that may be a little less likely to maybe eat live. Sometimes they could, not live. Yeah, they only want to eat live. Excuse me. Yeah. And harder to get. They can be a little bit fussy about eating frozen. There's certainly super fireball pythons. They could sometimes be a little tricky. Certainly, black-eyed leucistic retics are known for stomach issues. How about snow boas? So an anathoristic boa and albino, but the culmination of those two make this snow boa. And I remember producing snow boas and struggling sometimes with GI problems with those. I don't know if that was just unique to myself, but it didn't seem like it was unique. But there's certain different combinations and certain different things that sometimes make things a little bit more delicate and sensitive, but that's a very broad thing. I think we have to get down to like what species we're talking about, but there's definitely some genes associated with certain little extra quirks. Yeah.
All right, we got Red Flying Monkey 2K donated $2. Thank you. Is there a difference between the lifespan of male and female ball pythons?
Well, that's a really good question. So I think ball python could live over 40 years. So when we're a reproductive female, you are taking more chances because even when you do everything right, you can have an animal that you're going through a breeding mode and there's stress whenever you're involved breeding. But the act of ovulation and releasing ovum from the ovaries into the oviducts, things can go wrong. Things can tear. Things can you can get infections. You can get all sorts of physiological things that are part of that process that could go wrong that actually could cause that animal to die. You can tear a developing egg in its sheath of being vasculated. You could have an egg basically perforate during the laying process or gestation process of that animal holding that egg before she's actually laid, and that egg can rupture. And once an egg ruptures, that can cause peritonitis, so you can get this massive infection because you're releasing all this organic material that the animal has really no great way to deal with, and you can provide all sorts of perfect scenarios for bacterial infections and just unbelievable challenges for the animal. So a female snake that's reproductive is definitely her mortality certainly goes up, whereas a male, there's less aspects. They can get distended hemipenes. Just sometimes ball pythons when they're breeding. So a male's hemipene is barbed. So whatever hemipene he's using. So as he copulates with the female, and he wants to keep himself in that female for quite a while. But if you come in there and you don't realize your snakes are breeding, or you scare them, or some reason why the male tears out, he can tear out, causing damage to his hemipene. But you can actually perforate the female's cloaca or her bowel. And when you perforate the bowel of a snake as they're breeding, this could be a California king snake, could be a timber rattlesnake, could be a python, boa, whatever. When you perforate the bowel, now you're allowing that lower GI tract flora to get into the body cavity or create these unbelievable tears, which are unbelievable bacterial problems, and that can easily kill an animal. You could achieve death very quickly. So males, I would say, have a lower chance of having physiological problems as a female does. So I would definitely say it could shorten the life of a female more so than a male. And the one last note is sometimes males, they'll go off feed because as their testosterone levels rise, it hinders their interest in eating, and sometimes those snakes don't want to go back on feed, especially when you have reproductive females all around them. So if you have that male that just doesn't want to eat and you're really losing your mind, take him away from that space, put him where he can't smell females, and try to keep him quiet, and then get his humidity back up, and then try to, humidity and heat, and try to get him back interested in food, because sometimes they'll just go into this thing where I don't want to eat, and then all of a sudden they start losing their weight, and then they can die from stress and starvation. Boy, that was a long answer for a very simple question.
You want me to start holding
I like
timers?
to be in depth. What?
Did you want to start holding up timers? Can you imagine if I took a cut director's thing, like, shut up! How pissed you would be. I'm reading our comments from last video, and I haven't seen any really crazy negative ones I could talk about. They're all positive, which is upsetting me, guys, because I kind of you guys are never gonna get to me or Kevin ever.
Yeah,
we laugh so hard at the dumb ones. Yeah, it's cool.
So I guess I'll ask random questions.
It better be really good, because
it's gonna be amazing.
Do you want to whisper it to me first?
No, absolutely not. You're gonna tell me it's dumb.
Any excuse for you to whisper in his ear.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
It's perfect. Okay, so I'm sure people have wanted to ask you this. A lot. So coming from kind of like the beginning of ball pythons and kind of like the infancy almost, or maybe like the toddler stage of the industry, you were there to like be a part of that like race to the top, you know. What do you think was one of those turning points during that time period where the rest of the industry that was, you know, we'll focus on ball pythons in this instance. So the rest of the industry that was originally just kind of like, you know, it's a ball python. What do you think was that turning point to make them be like, this is
okay?
the
So
time?
yeah, so there was albinos, and then there was pieds that had not been proven genetic. So they're like going, the albinos were exciting. That excited people, but that was pretty much it. Albino, and then but boy, those pieds. So those two were like the standard, and it was my job to bring the other stuff. So I brought like the pastel jungles and the ghosts and the spider, and then when we did so the first combination of any. This is really interesting. The first combination of any snake happened to probably be my bumblebee. I did a double gene. I think I produced the first double combo of any snake where you're like taking two different genes and working to do that. Let me think. So I don't want to overspeak, but it could be. So maybe there was some stuff. Okay, corns. Nah, I won't say that. So for sure, it was the first combo of any Boyd, meaning python and boa. I won't say colubrid. So I really wasn't even thinking about that. But python and boa is definitely so. The spider gene mixed with the pastel jungle gene was the first two different things. But we just didn't have anything going on. And I don't think we even had a lot of stuff going on with colubrids. So we were like wondering, at least I was wondering, like, can you get double expression of these two different genes on the same pallet? But when I started doing that and people like Pete Call saw the first bumblebee, he was like, what the hell is that thing? And then the first spiders, that really got the attention. So it really probably had to do with like the spider and the pastels and super pastels and caramel albinos, all those other different things that weren't out there. And it was like weirdo. It was like largely me that I had that weird stuff. And I just started bam, 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 just started producing that stuff. And that started getting the attention of people. And Pete Call definitely was taking notice. But yeah, so it really was that. But Bumblebee was just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When that came out, that was just like, what the heck? And Pete Call was definitely the one who was going, what the heck?
Yeah.
He spent $45,000 on the first Bumblebee.
Damn.
That kind of put the notion that, okay, I'm doing something right.
Doing so, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's amazing.
You know
that like
you stare at him like he's your hero whenever he talks. It's so lame.
Man, it's just
that's literally
incredible.
really
Like,
there's a little.
okay, so I remember when I was young, it was like my early teenage year. Are you not gonna pick that up?
All right.
No, he's literally
like,
gonna spill it. I'm already ready to lift my laptop. I'm like so ready for that. Don't worry.
So I remember when I was like in my early mid-teens, yeah, about that. I was at this gathering of a bunch of reptile keepers down in Connecticut, and my buddy Sean Breyer was like, "Oh, you like ball pythons? I should introduce you to Kevin McCurley." And I was like, "What? Who is that?" What? You know, I didn't know who Kevin was. He's like, "You know about Nerd?" And I was like, "No, I don't know anything. I'm a kid."
I have a mustache. Sorry.
Not yet. No, not yet. So I remember he was like, well, you know, Kevin's like the guy for ball, you know, with ball pythons and retics and everything, and Sean kept retics and everything, and he's like, I'm gonna set you up with a private tour for Nerd and whatever, and I remember going home and I was like, okay, well, who is this Kevin McCurley? Who is this Nerd guy? Like, what is this? And I remember just seeing random pictures of ball pythons. I couldn't even fathom. Like, I was like, what is that? I think I had maybe like a cinnamon ball python and maybe a spider or a pastel or something like that. But I didn't. At that point I was so new into it. I wasn't thinking about like where do these morphs come from. I was just like, oh, these things are for sale. I'm just gonna buy these. These are cool. I like snakes.
Sounds like this generation.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I found out about Kevin, and I remember coming here and like seeing some ball pythons that like, you know, like I remember when it was like, oh, this is a soul sucker. Can I take a picture of that? No. Like, nope. I don't want anybody to know that exists. You know, but I was like, how does it? What?
Was it rude?
How does it? No.
I bet he was rude. You're just.
Well, I think the first time I came up, I was the tour I was on was with the manager at the time, one of the managers at the time, and I met him briefly, and it was just kind of like a hi, and then like he was gone, like running away doing whatever.
Nothing's changed.
No, nothing's changed in like 12 plus years. But then when I came up again, and I finally got the chance to really talk with him. It was almost like he had the light bulb go off of like, oh, you're not just some random annoying kid here, waste my staff's time. Like you have a brain. And my poor mom would come here and like die in the heat.
She was such a good sport. She's such a good sport. Drove all that.
Yeah,
way.
She must love that out of you, dude.
She was
very much. She definitely loves the heck out of you.
But yeah, I remember those moments coming up here, and I was like, this is like amazing. You know, I just didn't know any of that stuff could exist. So there's still moments in time where I'm like trying to, like now being here, trying to identify all these ball pythons this year. I'm like, what? How does that even, what? No.
Did you just want to work for your celebrity crush, and that's why you're here?
No.
That's what it is.
Yes, okay, fine. That's exactly what it is.
I get it. It started with Brian, like, this guy's cooler.
Yeah.
He's local.
Yeah. No, but okay, so I'll tell you this too. When I got to go to Brian's place like 8 years ago when he still had his big building. And, you know, every time I would come up here, I was only here for, you know, a few hours at a time, or like maybe, you know, at the bulk, maybe like a full day. But that was really it. And I didn't necessarily, I would help clean stuff, but I didn't see the day-to-day stuff of a big facility like this.
Yeah.
I went to Brian's place for a week.
Where'd you stay?
We stayed in a hotel. My mom, that was like my graduation present.
Are you
like
serious?
My mom set it up with Brian so
That's
we
crazy.
could go like hang. And I was like, okay, you know, like I'm of course excited. But that was like my first, I get to see the day-to-days of keeping reptiles in such a big, you know, facility. Because that was kind of my dream. Like I was like, I want to have all these reptiles and everything. And I think at my peak when I was younger, I had like 25 or 28 different species of snake that I was keeping and working with. So I was like, this is amazing. Like I could totally see myself doing this. And seeing the day-to-day, I was like, nope. I left there at the end of that week, and I didn't have a bad experience at all. But I was like, nope. It wasn't even boring. It was the amount of work, and then the being responsible for the payroll and everything like that. And I was like, I didn't want to do that.
There's a lot of moving of poop. That's like literally. It's not
so
like
much poop.
You guys only see a little bit of what we show you, and like a lot of what this job is just getting poop out of the enclosures and keeping things clean.
That is certainly a major daily task.
And it's my job to make it look glorious.
Yes, exactly. But that was, for me, that was kind of a pivotal point, because it was like, okay, well, I've always had compared to this, not large, but a bigger collection of reptiles for a single person to keep. But I was like, okay, I never want to get any bigger than this. You know, like if I can successfully maintain it in my basement or something, I'm content. I felt pretty content with that, you know. But but being able to just like be around people like Kevin and having gotten to know Brian for the last like decade or something, and just kind of like seeing what goes into that was always like a kind of moment, you know, that I certainly appreciated.
You've worked your way in all these famous people's lives. It's a huge deal. You got into
He
Brian's life,
did,
you got
because
into him. You get to Kevin. How the?
Well,
he did it
because I wasn't dumb.
And he just like.
Kevin never like takes on friends. I feel like you were very standoffish, man.
No, because you know I would come to Kevin and be like, "Teach me. Like, what do you see?"
Who doesn't
that
do
was
that,
always
though?
my thing. Yeah, but I wasn't like, I wasn't.
So he would come up here. I'm like, okay, he's gonna come up here, and I'm like, go around and take some pictures. Go put some pictures. Tell him I would just go like, all right, I'll show you, because I trusted him. So he just had free run. So he's just walking around taking pictures, and then you know, he was always really on that social media point, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Just like I want to look at the animals.
It's
sucks.
true.
No,
it's true.
You go do it. So
Yeah.
he does that, and then then I would go and look at what he would post after, and then you just look at some of the comments. And you're like, yeah, it's good. It's good. Jeremy comes up here, looks at some stuff. He's having a good time, and it's exciting to see somebody else get excited about the animals that I make or I'm managing. And then we started doing some of our little Facebook live stuff.
Yeah, they're high quality. They're great guys.
Shut up, Donny. The shade.
I was trying to find
The
clips
shade
to
coming.
show in the stream of like how far we've came because you guys have come so far.
We did a Facebook live. There was
I know.
7,500 people.
I know.
Like that.
We had one that was 7,500 people.
I know. And that was it in that retic room? That
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
I'm just saying how far things have come.
Wow, it
Yeah.
was just amazing. That was.
Yeah.
So that's wait. So your relationship with Kevin has only been like how many years? Is
It's
that
been a little more than a decade.
really?
I think so. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I thought to court Kevin it would take longer than that.
To
To court Kevin. Dude, Kevin, how many people literally just try to get a hold of you and just teach
You know
how
what?
to do
No, you know
animal
what?
stuff?
See, you know what you gotta
Plenty.
do.
Yeah,
You-
it's annoying.
No, see, you gotta come here and be like, okay, what about that dot makes that ball python special?
Ooh.
And it's when you pay attention to those little teeny things that like he's the only one that picks them up. Then he's like, okay, you're in this.
Don't teach people the secret, dude. They're gonna know how to get to Kevin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't ask him what the.
We've
dots.
already
He
given
hates
away
that.
how to not get in fights with him. Just,
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, we got another super chat from Oreo Cream Rocks. They donated $11.11. Thank you for that. I need a reliable source for C10, please.
what's a C10?
I don't know what C10
I think it's a
is.
lubricant.
Oh,
Do you know what a C10 is, sir?
nope.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, you'll see you're gonna have to super chat again, dude.
Yeah.
Or subscribe to our Twitch. Am I right?
There you go. Okay. A couple people have brought this up in here, so I'll just bring it up. People are talking about Kerry King. He's friends with Kerry King.
Who's Kerry King?
Kerry breeds
Kerry
carpet
King?
pythons.
Kerry King's my buddy from Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kerry's my buddy from Slayer. I've known Kerry a long time.
You got pictures together. It
Yep.
looks like Brandon Fowler. Sorry.
No, Kerry's wonderful. So obviously I'm a metalhead. Crotalis. I have my band Crotalis. Go to on our channel. You can listen to some of my music. Just go to New England Reptile Distributors and then type in some Crotalis stuff. You'll see some stuff. Like you can even listen to me sing "Painkiller" by Judas Priest. But I have a lot of music. We just have to find. I have to come
I'm gonna
out there
help
and
him get
put.
his music
Yeah, I'm
up.
gonna put all my music out there because I have a lot of music, and if I can get myself focused, I can finish this third CD, which I really would love to.
You should be able to now. You have so many people doing the jobs that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, imagine
Yeah.
that.
Isn't that crazy?
So I've known Carrie from Slayer for a long time,
Brian said it too.
and Carrie is 100% an avid reptile keeper. His guy that takes care of his collection is a guy named Todd Dyer, who's my buddy, and Todd is very talented in keeping reptiles. Does a very refined, discreet keeper that's very, very good at doing all the carpets and whatnot. He's just good. He's just a wonderful guy. He's absolutely genuine. So, but Kerry loves reptiles. He's a complete reptile geek. He does not worship Satan. He is not satanic.
But you are?
Wait, what?
I don't want to answer that.
I think though, isn't like a Satanist like somebody like it's not even like worships the devil. It's more like you worship nature.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a Satanist. Or
I never
whatever.
thought you really were.
So
I
if
hope nobody
that's-
thinks you are.
I guess if that's it, then I'm a Satanist.
Ooh.
Because I worship nature.
Cool.
Everything I'm like, nature is like really what I adore.
So Kevin is a Satanist, guys.
I
apparently
think
so.
if
That's
that's
the
what a
definition of-
Satanist
remember that.
is, because I was like, Satanist, like, yeah, he's like, worshiping Satan and doing sacrifices, animal sacrifices or something, which I'd never.
Of course you wouldn't, Kevin. You don't even need to say that. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
But seriously, he's a Satanist, guys, and, run with that. But he does not
I'm a
animal sacrifice.
Satanist.
Yeah. See, I love that he does. You know what I love about you, dude? You don't care because there's so many people that literally would freak out and be like, you cannot have that in a live stream because people use that against me. Dude, it's a joke. If people can't laugh at themselves, I don't know. You shouldn't be on the internet.
That's true. That's true.
Wow.
That's why Kevin made me take all those pictures. He just didn't want to deal with the internet.
Dude, that's Brian even said it to you. It was one of the things he said on his way out the door when he's leaving. He's like, you shouldn't do half the crap that you do because you have a bigger staff than me. Remember that? He was like, and when you left, he was talking about it still too. You take on too many things that you shouldn't be taking on because you should just be enjoying your collection and your fandom.
Your fandom.
I don't know. I cleaned 2 mouse racks today.
Yeah, and then your garbage you come back and make videos with. So
I carried out tons and tons of rodent stuff.
And it makes you miserable. It's like you're punishing yourself. It's like you're not enjoying the success you have. Do you not see how, like, you don't think you're torturing yourself doing that stuff?
Yeah, I am. I know.
Why? Like,
because I just want it done.
You are so insane. Like, it's just like, it's a simple fix.
No,
too.
Lynn's insane.
That's true. I wish we could do more, like, but I'm worried about what she'll say.
She's driving me crazy today.
Lynn
I was down there trying to build something, and she's like, and I'm like,
all right. So, for you guys that don't know, Lynn, we're not going to get super into details, but Lynn is a lovely lady that I have put in the videos a couple times. She wears a fanny pack. She's quite adorable, and she's been around Kevin since I can remember. How long has she been part of your life? I remember in 2007, she looked the same, literally, and used to be in the building doing the same thing, walking around.
Some of us are assigned to hell.
No, but like how long? 30 years? Forever?
No.
Well, I mean, that's... How many? Has she always been this close with you?
No.
No?
Usually, my employees would deal with her, and I would just be like,
run away.
Did she start as a client?
Yeah, she's a client. Yeah, but it's just happens. She loves her animals so much, and ended up moving up here. So now she's like a fixture, and then we kind of
fixture, like a pet.
Well, no.
Oh,
we help her out. She needs some help. So I help.
It might have. Oh, he went out when he bumped it.
Oh,
it's back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Kevin being crazy and touching the table. You're fine. You're good.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine.
We'll have this unlocked so he can't do that anymore. I'm Kevin-proofing everything over here. Yeah.
Kevin-proofing everything.
Our live stream has greatly improved since the last one and since the start one because now
it's
things
great.
are.
We only have one mic, so we don't have the double echo and.
Yeah. Well, that's I learned a lot.
Donny.
Yep. Yes. And let's see. We're at 66 concurrents on Twitch. We're trying to get to 75 so we can get a partnership application in, but we can actually leverage our YouTube channel, and that's super big. Kevin will find out how big that is as soon as it happens. It's a big deal.
Go over to Twitch.
Yeah, go to Twitch, or you're not. We're just not going to pay attention to you. Kevin's not going to like you as much. I can't talk for him, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to like you.
I assure you, I don't even know you exist, and I probably don't like you right now.
Nice.
Damn.
Nice. And if you don't follow him on TikTok,
that guy's an asshole. Yes, you're right.
They should totally follow you on TikTok, or they're pretty much dead you also.
Somebody likes to always ask me, tell me something I don't know. You want to play that game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Tell me something I don't know. So,
when I was in elementary school,
you know how they knew how to get me upset?
Kill a bug.
Very good.
See, I know him. Dude.
Stomp on a... Can I swear?
Yeah.
More edgy?
Yeah.
Stomp on a fucking ant in front of me on purpose.
Man.
And oh, man. I was a kid, and then like, they go over, you're like, yeah! And did that. Oh, man. They make me mental.
What do you do? Like, how do you... Did you, like, fight
freak
back?
out. I freak out. Oh, yeah.
Were you fucking weird as shit? Like, were you such a weird kid?
No, there was this other kid that used to eat the heads off of ants.
Well, that would...
Black carpenter ants.
You guys didn't
associate. And I was like,
that
his kid name was like Adam. And I didn't like him at all. He was a weirdo.
Look him up on Facebook? Let's look him up.
No, not that kid. He was this little dweeb, but he'd eat carpenter, like the soldier carpenter ant. He would eat their head off, and it's really, really weird. But I like ants. I'm fascinated by ants. So you just go over and start stomping on ants in front of me, and
he goes off.
And that might want to stomp on you now.
Do you ever play sports? Do you ever play sports?
I'm pretty athletic.
No, did you back in the day?
So I was very shy.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that I was an alpha male for a long time. Did not realize I was alpha. So I'm an introvert.
Yep.
Okay. So I think things, but I don't say things. So I could be in a room and you just see me being totally passive. Not passive in my head. I'm just too shy to do anything about it, or I was. So I played soccer. I ran track. Stuff like that. Baseball. I like baseball. I like football. Any of that stuff. But I did not play baseball because when the baseball gets hit and all of a sudden it has to come down to me. As it's coming down to me, I get nervous that I won't catch it.
Yeah.
And I remember being in Little League, and that was a problem, just getting nervous. And same thing with like football, but I'm pretty friggin' athletic. And just I've always been good at whatever I do. You know, I was into skateboarding and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, Kevin can skateboard, guys.
Yeah,
he's actually pretty good at it.
Yeah,
we'll live stream that because I can walk around this camera right now too.
So Brian was trying to make me go in that.
The one wheel, Cusco.
Yeah, Brian
I got
did
some
that.
video of that.
Brian did that to me, and I'm like, and he's videotaping. I'm like, he's gonna be able to use this against me. And but he was
nobody watches Cusco anyways. You're fine.
No, Brian. No, but he did it, and he goes, and I got it, and he was like, wow. And I'm like, I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead, but I did it, and I went out in the hall when he came back. Yeah. And I think he's a really sincere guy. So
he's super nice.
He's definitely a nice guy. So that was good, and I was just afraid of just being a moron and doing something that would be used against me.
You know who I think was the most afraid during that situation was the vendor that you guys were like right by, like while you were still trying to figure it out. You like grabbed the table, and I know what popped into my mind was those displays.
Yeah,
are gonna go tumbling. I knew you were in control, but I think that guy was like,
So because I am forever, like, I'm still very shy. People wouldn't know that. But if I did something to make myself look like a fool or like to screw up somebody else's displays, I would be traumatized by it because I don't want to push my stupidity onto somebody else that is an unwilling participant. So
you'd rather break your leg and not hurt anybody else's stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would rather. I would hate to do something like that because I don't want to push myself onto somebody else that doesn't want nothing to do with me.
Kevin is super shy. Super
Definitely
shy.
super
Unless he's
shy.
here. And then he's, I don't know, not with his employees. That whole thing
Anger
about you
has
saying that you won't talk, you just sit there and loathe. Dude, I can read Kevin like a book. And he will say he's fine and he's not. The biggest problem I've ever had with Kevin is Kevin would not say things out loud to me when he should have. And it's a nightmare because it's hard to communicate with somebody when they're not talking. And oh god, you have to like read his social cues. I think sometimes. What do you do? You do when your crane thing? Is that when you're? What is that? When you're pissed off, what do you do with your
crane
hands?
stance.
Do you do the crane thing when you're thinking?
Dan's got it when I start biting my lip.
Yeah.
Man, he's like uh-oh. He's biting his lip. And I'm like,
that's a Dan thing.
I'm like, damn, he's right. Shit. And it's like, yeah, and
you pace when you're pissed off too.
I do all sorts of weird things. You guys could notice all my social cues.
Well, they don't see this side of you, so we're just bringing it to light.
And if I stare at you and I'm talking to you, because I don't look people in the eyes very often, and if I'm just like, that means I've kind of like had it, and like,
really?
No, this is like we're gonna get down to this. Like today I had a talk with him, and I probably stared at you. I wasn't staring because I was mad at him. I was mad about something I was talking about. So I was just like, no, this is the way it's gonna be. Yeah. And that's where he just take me for like I'm literally at my end. Just let's just get this solved and we can move on.
Yeah, you force him into eye contact thing. I don't.
No.
I
He was
be
just
polite.
like, hey, this is what's going on. We need to handle it. And then I literally handled it and came back and was
great,
like, it's done.
Like, yours sword. I don't know what to call it. Yours mouthpiece. Oh yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's gross. My bad. I didn't mean to say that. Sorry.
He's very diplomatic.
You've never had a manager quite like him, have you? This is kind of the newest thing. Your addition.
He's very diplomatic. No, he's very good at seeing like, oh my god.
It's all right.
I got it. We're good.
But imagine if I did that to Kevin when he was talking. He'd be so pissed at me. Yeah, I have to be
it's safe. We're safe.
I hate watching videos.
Remember I wanted
myself.
your vice
and I do like, so I have all these like nervous tendencies. I'll do this. Like this is one of my nervous tendencies.
Yeah.
I constantly put my I do this, or I start doing all this weird stuff, and I'm like, why do you keep doing that? And I'm like, and it's like because I'm nervous or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't like my mannerisms. That's why like this guitar helps me a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's
You didn't need it for Brian though. I wonder if it's because you were so into that conversation. You're bored with us. Is that?
Yeah, it's I get excited to see Brian and we're talking. It's good because we have so much to talk about, something that needs to be said, and that's why we're going to be doing more of these
I can get
Twitch
on this really
type
easily.
things. Yeah.
I can definitely do it easily.
So our plan is to do these big open discussions and really get some stuff out there. I really like, obviously, well, we're gonna always have our haters, but it's nice to like, if you're gonna hate us, just like hate us for like legit reasons, not like because you perceive something. So I got a phone call today from Brandon Fowler. And Brandon,
who is he? Tell who
he's a roaming reptile. He does like education, so he does like massive education shows, and he's calling from the Midwest. And he called, and he basically was telling me that he saw today's talk where what's wrong with the reptile industry between Brian and myself, and that you filmed.
He messaged me too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he called me and he just says, "Oh my God, I loved what you were talking." He's like, "This is the stuff that needs to be said," and so he was, just talking about like an inspiration we are, and how he values, like what we're doing and stuff like that. And he tells me these couple interesting stories, which it's like it's remarkable. So he told me one was somebody had seen Reptile Channel's response to us, and basically saying New England Reptile needs to be shut down.
Oh.
And
that hard-hitting video that makes so much sense.
But somebody came to him and said, "Yeah, I saw that thing, and I hope they shut New England Reptile down." And he's like, "What?"
Did you see the response?
Well, but this person said, "Yeah, they're like their animals are dirty or something like that, so they need to be shut down." So he was like, "Do you even know what you're talking about?" So there are literally people out there that are easily so manipulated. Their 7 brain cells just can't really get it going, and they're like, "I'm so easily manipulated. I'm gonna think the Reptile Channel, which is the most disgusting."
They're like, if you can be manipulated by that channel, like I don't know how
I'm like,
breathe.
so Brandon, like, you hopefully don't need this person in your life, and like, guys, I'm like, is this person like whatever? And then he goes, yeah. So then he goes, told me another person said that they saw a video where Brian and myself were in it, and then he's like, I hate those guys. He's like, those guys are like everything that's wrong about keeping reptiles. And it was Brian and myself. And he was telling Brandon this, and Brandon's like, what? And once again, it's like that guy maybe has 5 brain cells that are challenged. Because I don't understand what the point is. Like, you literally hate us. Like, what are we doing that is so... I mean, hate is a pretty strong word. I'm not bothered by this, but it's really interesting because, like, what do you like? Do you hate somebody's maybe perceived success, or what? Like, what are we doing? Because, like,
you're breeding reptiles and doing a lot of them, so they just think that you're doing it for the money. That's literally what the children of this generation think. Because,
Yeah, so we just have to get
where
offended.
Do you think snakes come from, guys?
It's really sad because that's not really...
You do it well. That's why you have so many of them. That's basically what it comes down to, guys. I don't know.
It's not worth hating. Like, go hate somebody for something significant. Like, go hate somebody that, like, is... I saw this thing, and there's this guy with all these dead wolves. And, like...
What's he doing with that?
I don't know. He's, like... harvesting like a bounty or something on wolves, and like that's pretty hateable. Go hate somebody that's
go hate the reptile.
There's a lot of people that glorify death animals on the internet. I haven't even like gotten in, but there are plenty of people that are just like harming animals for views, and it's not, and they're not considered animals because they're reptiles.
Yeah, they're just like go somebody that just like kills animals for fun and they're glorifying that. That's pretty hateable.
Hell yeah.
Go somebody that like slaughtering animals and getting glee from their pain and suffering. That's really hateable.
I think you want to mention that you don't hate hunters.
I don't hate hunters.
But the people that glorify this death, they just do
it. I mean, so there are hunters that are really responsible, and they're animal lovers. So literally, they love animals, and they need some connection to go out in the wild and go sit in a tree stand or go whatever. But they love these natural places, and they might want to shoot a duck because they want to eat that. But if that duck is like flying, and then you shoot it, that duck until that point was acting like a duck. And that hunter is facilitating that duck's life in the wild. it's like they enjoy that duck being in the wild. It's not going, I freaking hate ducks. I want to shoot ducks. There are hunters.
That's a big difference.
There are hunters that abuse that privilege or whatever. But there's so many hunters that have such a wonderful respect, and hunters keep places wild.
Yep.
They manage things. They cause a reason for that field to be there, for the woods to be there.
You said it a lot in that video, the swamp video you did.
My swamp video. But it's like, I realize that, like, I don't want to go and shoot a deer, and I don't even eat the deer. But I understand I'm a realist, and that's like a good thing. So I see the good in hunting. So, there's some people just like, okay, so I'm kind of like a vegan. I'm like what I call a cheating vegan. So like here and there, like cheese pizza or whatever. But I generally largely don't eat meat. And I don't drink milk or any of that kind of stuff. I drink like almond milk and oat milk and whatever. But
he's bragging.
No, it's like my my personal choice. But I don't just like because you hunt a deer and you eat that deer. I think that deer is a lot better off than the cow that's been tethered and been milked relentlessly for 4 years, and you've taken away its baby. I can go through a lot of different stuff about the whole cow, how we deal with bovine and what horrific things we do to them that really, 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 really bother me. And like I say, oh my God, I can't stand this. Go to a grocery store. A grocery store is literally the place of suffering.
And salmonella. I remember you said that too. I'm just picking up things you said.
The and E. coli, the biofilm.
Yeah.
But a grocery store where like everybody's completely isolated from all the animals that have died to be there, and the horror that's part of that. And that is really the reason why I am basically a vegan. I try to be a vegan, get along the health benefits. But
do you hate people that eat meat more, or
no.
people that smoke cigarettes? Oof. You see that?
That's it. That was a hard one.
Cigarette smokers, I have a certain place in my heart for you.
He's so nasty to people that smoke cigarettes.
Guys, I don't like. I mean, if you smoke cigarettes,
If you're following our channel or subscribed to our, that's okay. You can smoke cigarettes, but all you other people.
Yeah. But I just, it's just like it's like something that's completely awful for you. That like you guys are, not you guys, but some of you people flick them out the window. Like one cigarette butt, like the what's in that filter is enough to poison 10 gallons of fresh water to make it so amphibians can't live in there. And they're just flicking them out the windows. That's really nasty. And I've actually chased somebody down on that.
You
before.
get really pissed when people do it here.
I can't stand
There's no
it.
cigarette butts in
If you're
front
gonna
of Eric.
smoke cigarettes, dispose of them in a reasonable fashion.
I'm sorry. You're talking about this.
Oh, I see the comment.
And I just happened to look at this one comment from Jay Butera. It says, "I smoke like a forest fire." It just caught me really off guard.
Well, you better be following us. I mean, like.
Yeah, but
because wow.
Just because you
What about
eat
people that
meat.
vape? Does that bother you?
What?
The people that vape. I know there's a lot of your employees that love to vape big clouds.
Tammy's like a freaking dragon.
At least she doesn't smoke
But
cigarettes
okay, so
anymore.
the thing that bothers me about Tammy vaping,
Yeah.
I love Tammy,
Mhm.
and I want Tammy.
She's probably watching too, so be
I want
careful.
Tammy in my life, so I don't want Tammy to die. There's Rob. Hi, Rob.
Rob is a sore throat.
Rob is like a cartoon character now with his voice.
Oh yeah.
It's terrible. It's absolutely horrible.
I smoking cigarettes. It's starting to crust
Marlboro
over.
Reds and 100 menthols.
I like that.
It's good stuff.
What about Tammy?
Yeah, so I don't want Tammy. I want to die first, and by my own hand.
Selfish.
I'm gonna die by my own hand.
She's not aging either. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing.
But Tammy just like vapes like a friggin' dragon. That's all.
You-
And she eats a lot of junk food.
Yeah, I don't know. She's not enormous. That drives me nuts. Oh,
It's all
no,
the
she stayed that
nicotine
size forever.
rich in her blood. That's the
I think
stimulant.
so.
The
No,
stimulant.
100% that could be it. Yeah. Oh, look at. Hey, are we doing a good job? Like,
I was just coming to see if you guys were doing a good job.
oh yeah, 100%. As you can tell, because we're
Probably
at
not.
all of our Twitch viewers.
Probably
But
failing all
we
of you.
reached the numbers we wanted on Twitch. We gotten up to 75 a couple times, so we're doing rather well. We're at 226 right now on the YouTube, maybe 250. We're doing well, but if we had Brian Barczyk here, I bet we'd be doing way better.
Over 1,000.
Barb's almost done making food.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Barb.
That is one of his in-house servants because Kevin doesn't do anything for himself. He has people cook for him and clean for him.
He cleans mice for himself.
Yeah. But he cannot be bothered to make his underwear. Is that true? Do you cook, Kevin?
Sure.
That's what I wanted you to say,
I
and
can
you
cook.
didn't understand.
Yeah.
I can cook.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I can actually have certain little secret talents. I can do things.
Like what? What? You're hanging.
Make a
cook.
banging
I can cook.
Beyond Beef burger.
No, it's
You just
no,
can't
I
eat
can-
it.
Yeah.
No, I can do things.
Can you mini golf good? Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
you're literally just everything you put your mind to, right?
Generally, if I'm given the chance to.
If somebody
Practice
if
it.
somebody sends us a super chat of like $150, I will go get Kevin to go mini golfing and record it.
I would love to videotape that kind of stuff. Just to get him out of the
Just saying.
building.
I don't
Just
lose well.
Who
I just
cares?
don't let you
That's
know
fine.
that.
That's
I am
fine.
so friggin' competitive.
That's funny.
That's
I
good.
have bad competition.
That's great.
problems.
So somebody super chat $150. It needs to be one person
Do you?
doing
It's
it.
not even there. Let me ask you a question. You are super alpha all the time. Do you not have people work for you sometimes because they're too alpha? You need to have people that are your bidding, can do your bidding. Does that make sense?
Okay, so if you're going to challenge my ideas, you're going to get yourself in. Okay, I can be wrong, absolutely. But if you're going to challenge my ideas because of whatever, you're going to cross paths with me a little too much. It's this place is a lot of my way. I mean, you see I'm like that, but I don't like, if somebody has a good idea, then it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah, you
but
don't
if
make
you're
us
going to
do
try to
that.
correct me, and when I know there's certain things like this is the way I do it, and this is the way I do it, and I am like, that is it. You're not going to even rub me the wrong way on that because
Right.
you're going to fall into a bad place with me.
Oh, we don't.
Okay, so we got Jason.
I don't mind alphas though.
Oh no.
No.
Jason Lowmaster just sent us $10. Thank you, Jason. As a hunter myself, I completely respect your views. I tell people often that the kill is the most bittersweet part of the hunt. I love these animals and dedicate time enhancing their habitat.
Yeah, that's like just your. It's like such a you have this respect. Now, mind you, there's people that just go out there and want to kill things, and I don't like them. But a hunter that is just respectful. They put money. They pay money to preserve this stuff and all that, and they're just if you're gonna eat deer, you're gonna eat a cow. I really, the guy that just harvested the deer, that's a respectful thing. That there's a lot of story to that versus the guy I just went to McDonald's and bought a hamburger. There's no fucking story to it. You
I've never seen
fucking
me fast
sat in
food.
a goddamn drive-through
Oh, boy.
and you ate something
the
that
story.
suffered its entire fucking life.
Man, he's very honest. We're never gonna get a McDonald's sponsorship though. That's a fact.
I don't care.
Wait a minute. Good question. They're like wicked nitpicky who they sponsor. They've dropped people in the past. Anyways, let's say they wanted to sponsor us. Would you be like, fuck no? Is that like somebody you would say no to?
McDonald's?
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
That's real. I guarantee.
I fucking hate it.
Even if they offered us a ton of money, I bet Kevin would be like, no. That's a good.
No, I would like to be sponsored by like almond milk.
Oh, they'll never.
Or
Come on now.
no, I'm
Come
joking.
on.
Okay.
But I was trying to see because at the beginning of the stream you said that you would never endorse anything you hated.
Beyond Meat, and no, yeah, I won't.
That's
why. I don't care because money. I'm not that much in love with money.
Good.
No. I have such a conscience.
Except the spider gene though. You're a monster about that. Like how dare you?
Absolutely not. I'm not even gonna fall into your.
You can't let it
Not
bother
even-
you, man.
No.
This is the joy of having these two work together.
I love Kevin.
so
I
much
just try to get him going,
closer
dude.
now. Like, yeah, now he's like, I'm not falling into your trap.
You're good. You're
anymore.
starting to catch on. I stick the camera's face. I say specific things to make him
No,
laugh.
like I do have like a conscience. Like even like when I was working on tearing apart a cage, and Amanda asked me, she was like, really that bothered me because I'm like, poor Amanda. I'm not angry at Amanda. I was just like, she just caught me, and I was being ridiculously honest. But she's a little
That's your
afraid
flaw.
of me.
She should
So, but see that even bothers me a little bit right now. Like if like somebody like misinterprets me, or if I'm a little bit over whatever, I'll like, hey, I'll go and say something so they know that I'm not like angry or
I've
I'll
never
like
had
quickly.
Kevin come back and say sorry for yelling ever.
He's meant every word he's ever
I bet he
yelled at
has.
me, Donny.
I can
Maybe so.
I can't. Kevin's never flipped on me the way he's flipped on some people. I've actually not gotten that brisk. I've seen it plenty of times, but it's been well deserved most of the time. I'm glad you have a conscience and you do feel empathy towards human beings sometimes. That's awesome.
Oh.
That's good. Oh.
Well, you watch me. Actually, I get upset like all my employees, and like if I get like one employee that's like upset because of other employees, that will bother me because I want my employees to feel part of this place.
Yeah.
I mean, one point is like I have employees that get paid, but there's certain employees that are like they're part of like it's like a family or whatever, and I want them to have the welfare of this place part of what they do. It's important.
Mm-hmm. It's an inner circle.
Yeah,
it's a secret inner circle. That
Yeah,
nobody
I have
knows
friends that just are friends that come here, but they're still worried about this place, and they do things. They help me, Dave and Aaron and all my friends like that. They do nice things for me just because they want this place to be here. So I mean, this is a tough thing to keep this place running. And I have like friends that do nice things just because they care. My friends George and Diana Paradise, that just like the welfare of this place is is important to them, and people won't even know who they are, but they're like my friends, but they're always interested in like, so if I ever needed help, there's people that literally would jump right to it to try to help me, and that's cool, and there's no benefit to them other than they just they value what we're doing or what I'm doing, my success, and they actually give a crap about me.
I think people just want to belong sometimes too, and this is like the place they come to. I don't know, it's like a castle. Kevin's the crazy tyrant king. Real peasant.
With all of the ball pythons.
Yeah, he's just got them all. It's 9:48, and I'm sure he wants to eat. He's getting grumpy. Do you want to shut down at 10?
You can end at 10, yeah.
So if there's anything important you want to say to Kevin McCurley, guitar master, Curtalis, band leader.
We still didn't get that 150, so I guess we're not.
Yeah,
going
what
mini
the hell,
golfing.
guys? You guys are all cheap. All of you. I said it. $150 for that secret information. It's a deal.
But yeah.
Did you say it's out of tune? That's what happens when you use your phone.
Yeah, well,
I
Kevin,
didn't even get to do anything.
I'm sure
I
you know
was
how to
trying
use
to
that.
find my friggin'
What app is
Gee,
that?
I
There's an
told.
app that
I told.
works?
Yes. Okay. So I
Musician
really
Berkeley
dislike
graduate. Yeah.
when phones get used as tuners, not just for guitars but for any instrument. I've even like yelled at my students for like pulling out a phone to tune their instrument, because the microphones that are in phones, obviously very improved from many years ago, but they're not the greatest when it comes to tuning. So yeah, we're gonna play a little blues to the 4,
Neat.
back to the 1, to
Nope.
the 5.
When nobody knows what you're talking about.
I know, it's fine.
It's just you.
Nope.
Dude, Jesus.
So anyway,
That's a creep.
I'm going to buy Kevin a lot of guitar tuners for Christmas. I'm just gonna start. Yeah, there you go. There you
Deliverance.
go. I'm just gonna buy guitar tuners. So if you're a musician, don't use a tuning app on your phone. It's not as accurate as you think it is.
Okay, everybody. So if you watch, how many guitar players do you think are in here?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. You could be.
I bet a lot of metalheads are in here, though.
You could be a bass player. You could be whatever. Don't use your phone to tune your
Can
instrument.
you make more music so we have more interesting stuff for our videos? Because I am
100%.
I've been through all of your
I have
music. Well, give me more. Give me more so I can use them in the videos, and I'll
Look
put
at
them in the
he's
videos.
staring you dead in the eye.
think
Look at
you-
his
It's fucking ridiculous. I have so much music.
I only have 20 tracks of yours. You need to give me more.
I got.
Well, there you
plenty
go.
more
That's
than
on you,
that.
homie. I will put them in the videos.
Wow.
See,
Do you
I
realize
like
that
your
there's-
fast stuff?
On the new Crotalis CD, there's like 14 tracks, 14 maybe 15 tracks on that thing.
Are you gonna put them on like iTunes so people can buy them and stuff?
Yes.
I'm
we're
like trying to
gonna
get
make that
promote
happen.
your stuff
We're
in a
gonna make
nice
that
way.
happen. Yeah. Nope,
But-
we're gonna make that happen.
I need fast stuff so we make cool intros. and
Okay,
shit.
you want on the newest one, it would be Dead Shall March.
There's no snake in the name. I'm like,
The
Wait,
Dead
wait,
Shall
wait.
March.
I have that.
yeah.
I've been working on that one, but
That's
Coral Snake's the one I've been with leads.
Waking
What
from the
hell are
past,
leads?
even in death it will not last. Climb towards the light, eating flesh as
Bro,
zombies right.
Wait, are those
Brutal in
lyrics?
its truth. It's
Why are they
dead,
in the
it will
music?
not die. Corpses hunt for brains, eating flesh, they'll make you die. Dead. Dead.
We are not
Dead,
kid
dead.
friendly.
Every album has a zombie song on it.
But like, how
Really?
come
Oh
none
my
of the music
God,
I
yeah.
have has vocals
Go.
on it? Is
What?
that just because you haven't put vocals on them
I
yet?
just haven't done vocals.
Oh, but you
So
have
yeah,
lyrics?
the first one is because there was a
Oh, you know his all his music too?
Yeah.
Look at you guys. I just
Dude,
need to
his arpeggios and lines are pretty
Stop.
interesting.
What the?
Playing them on the trumpets is sometimes difficult. I'll try to figure it out from time to time.
Do you?
Yeah.
I just like that I don't have to use copyrighted music, and it really kind of
nice.
like it makes it so I can have cool stuff in the videos. Because you can't put any cool music on the internet anymore,
Hey,
dude.
if you are looking to put
New
music
Ruler,
on stuff,
the first one. Second album is
Here we
Kill
go.
the Dead.
Kill the dead.
yeah.
And then the next one is The Dead Shall March.
What are the lyrics that's on "Burn the Tree"? Like, what was that like?
Burn.
Cinder?
That's Cinder.
Yes. You guys want to check out? There's a playlist of all his music. I have it on. If you guys want to just see crazy Kevin with his hair,
It's true.
he
yeah.
looks out of his mind. Which is what he was going for. I'm pretty sure.
Burn
Yeah. That's
all
it.
the trees. Man spreads disease. Gears grinding on. The end a looming dawn.
I feel like you'd be one of those people that blows up whaling boats. I feel like you would be part of that.
Greed, feed the need, lost, it burns away. Look to the goddamn sky. What is green is to die. Clouds suffocate the end of man's stay.
He's locking eyes with me too. He does this in the building.
Need.
That's right. We're getting. You know, we're actually getting new
Burnt away.
subscribe. Well, I don't know if they're watching the stream subscribing, but they're probably watching our videos and subscribing. I wish we could poll everybody that's new to this. Like, why did you sub to us? And because I want to know how many of them are like, because I don't like you guys. I just want to see what you're gonna do next. Like, it would be nice to know how many of our viewers actually don't like us. Because it doesn't matter. Because they're still watching. I don't really care. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. How many do we got? We got 76. Man, we're gonna get partnered on Twitch. I guarantee it. I'm not letting up.
Good.
Yeah. Kevin will. Yeah. Anything else, Kevin? You want to promote? TikTok, Instagram.
The one good thing is
Do
I
a
can.
super kindness to
I
somebody.
can.
Do a nice, Kevin. Do a nice.
I haven't eaten. I'm super fading away now.
With this
it-
vintage
it's-
nerd shirt on. Jesus. That's,
Yeah, you like this.
I used to have one of
This
those.
is hands. It's what's for dinner.
That's the
Yeah.
uncolored one. That's the classic edition.
This is the classic edition.
That's right.
Yeah.
But at least one good thing is like I literally, as I was just today, just thinking of things. There's like so much stuff. I'm like, just got this endless bunch of nonsense I can talk about, or stuff that I feel like I need to put out there.
Or make
And-
songs about.
I would love
Oh
if you-
yes, we're going to do
Uh-oh.
some. I'm very much into funny songs too, and I got super musician next to me, so I get to write like obnoxious music because I'm really into being obnoxious,
I'm all about it.
and I like
Yeah.
it.
You should
Oh,
write them
it's
about our
gonna be fun.
competitors. That'd be great. People like write them about the Reptile channel. That'd be good. I would very much enjoy that. Could you do that for me?
That's so interesting.
You only
I
write
don't
songs
know.
about people you like, though, right? Like you know.
I generally will write obnoxious songs about people that I like, which sounds like they're mean spirited, but
it's
I'm
all
just
in
being
good fun.
really
Welcome to
kind of
Nerd.
obnoxious and funny.
Yeah.
That's how we are. That's our sense of humor here.
So we're gonna do this whole album, and the one song he writes about me, like he's just not gonna show up to record. He's just gonna show it to me.
I feel
Right,
very
like
easy.
he'll already have done it, and I'll be like, what?
Well, you're an easier target because you'll be silly for the hell of it.
It's true.
So it's easier.
I don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Cusco or Miguel? Go. Pick.
What do you mean?
One's burning in a fire. Who do you save?
Oh, Cusco.
I feel like that was the only answer. I don't know.
That's
I just
amazing.
saw it.
No, love them both. They're
All right.
both cool.
We're shutting down the stream, everybody.
Yeah.
All right? Because Kevin needs to eat. He's getting grumpy. Have a good night. Say bye, Kevin.
Bye guys. Thank you very much.